I had some fun. I had some fun with an iPad this week. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
My grandpa passed away I guess it's been about a year at this point.
Bad,
and he had an iPad, and my grandma still had it around. She found it, and she said, "Do you want this thing?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll just, factory reset it and restore it, easy, and I'll have an iPad." Except Apple added this thing called Activation Lock, and it was synced to his iCloud, which I don't know his email address or his password or any of that. So I have an iPad that just gets stuck at the activation lock screen, and I literally can't do anything with it. So I miss the good old days of Apple, where you could just turn on a MacBook and hold down Command S whenever the logo popped up, and you could just go straight into a root shell and just do whatever you wanted. I really miss those days. But now Apple doesn't like people that steal stuff. See, I'm a big fan of thieves.
Of thieves?
Stealing technology. See, if someone's going to leave their MacBook out, it's their problem. It's mine now.
Yeah,
easy.
Wow.
But, I mean, I don't know. It's just annoying because then, like, you take it to the Apple store and you're like, all right, here's the situation. This is what happened. Can you help me? And they're like, well, no, we can't decrypt it. That's the whole point of the activation lock. And it's just like, well, can I could get the box, I can get the receipt, like I can get all of that stuff and like prove that he owned it. Like I can go probably find his driver's license if you want. They're like, no, we can't do anything. We can't help you.
Wow.
Well, you gotta protect dead guy's privacy.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah.
My mom's a big. She likes her iPad a lot, but the thing constantly breaks.
Really?
They went to Florida, broke. She just came back from another vacation where they went up to the ski lodge where there wasn't really internet and all that stuff. They're out in the middle of nowhere. So unfortunately, when she left her house, it started to try to sync to update itself, and it didn't finish because it's Apple. And she got up there where there was no internet, and she couldn't use the iPad, unlock it, or use anything because it was still trying to update itself without internet. So it was just locked in that cycle.
Nice. It's an excellent
It's a good product. Yeah, it's a good product.
Yeah, it's a good product. It's working as intended. I can see that. That's a little bit unfortunate.
God damn it.
Yeah, that is a little unfortunate. You know what's more unfortunate though? Inks. Why don't you tell us about YouTube comments? Do you like YouTube comments, Inks?
I mean, the comment itself. We just talked about this. The comment doesn't actually bother me because it's just the comment is just kind of silly, and I kind of understand the guy's point, but at the same time, you're playing an MMORPG in which 99% of all MMORPGs have ridiculous armor and exist in a land of fucking fairies, dragons, and what did somebody in chat say? Like pink unicorns or butterfly magic or something?
Yeah.
I mean, Mesmers literally have butterfly magic, and you're worried about how your armor pieces look like vanilla WoW PvP gear. I don't know. It's kind of
I mean,
silly.
to be fair, I really don't like the legendary heavy armor, like to the point
and
where...
that's fine. Lots of people don't like it, so I totally understand that. But he ends the comment with he's like, I'm disliking this video for lack of analysis. Well, I got a newsflash for you. The video was titled Legendary Heavy Armor Preview. It wasn't entitled Legendary Armor Analysis. So it's really just some idiot's opinion, which happens to be mine, on the internet that shows off the armor. It's not an analysis of the armor on how the plate mail doesn't lock together properly and you can't fucking move it anyway. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. But he goes into this big long thing about sword guards don't face backwards with spikes like fantasy swords. Well, no shit, but you're playing an MMO. You're not playing real life I'm a knight who is retarded. You're playing Guild Wars 2. The comment is just kind of... I get what he's saying. Armor in these games, especially Guild Wars 2, don't look realistic. But you have a bigger problem than all of that stuff with legendary armor that has moving plates with spikes that come out that are just there for show, really. You've got females in basically bikini underwear with midsections wide open for swords to get stabbed into. So
Yeah.
you should just work on that
That's what I like to see.
before you worry about. The comment is just like he's just very serious about his legendary armor,
He
and
probably literally does nothing else.
and then he just ends it with like, yeah, and I don't like your video because your shitty analysis. And it's like, well, it wasn't an analysis video, but thanks.
There is this saving grace there. At least he told you why he disliked the video.
That's true. So
That
he
is,
gets
it's
a
constructive
half an internet
criticism.
point because
It's
he actually
constructive
why he
criticism. He's
disliked it.
calling you trash.
I have respect for honest, stupid people. Like, I mean,
At least
at
they're
least
honest,
they,
right?
like, on some level, like, they think about what they're doing and saying, and they're willing to let you know that. But then you just have, I don't know, like, people like Rex who just spew nonsense 24/7, and, like, they just try to pretend that they're not idiots. But I'm sorry, Rex, if you're watching. I just miss you a lot, man.
Who doesn't miss Rex?
I don't
really?
know.
Who doesn't miss Rex? I
Yeah.
mean, without Rex, we wouldn't have had the glorious moment
somebody-
of someone actually quitting the game because of Super
Yeah.
Adventure Box. That is.
I don't know. This is the reason why. I didn't know this was. The
Oh yeah,
reason
yeah. He
why.
quit. He quit the game.
He
bec-
quit because of Super Adventure Box.
Why? It doesn't even. It's not even
because
in
it
the
was
game.
too
for that.
hard.
What?
Yeah. He couldn't do it, so he quit. He actually quit the game. The last day he ever played Guild Wars 2 was when he was trying to do Super Adventure Box with us, and he rage quit Discord and then just pretty much. I think he uninstalled the game. I'm pretty sure. And he
Have you
just
never heard from him since?
Oh yeah, yeah. He plays WoW now. Yeah,
plays in
he's
Discord.
around.
He's
Yeah,
around.
he's in Discord now. He talks to us, but he just doesn't. He's never going to play Guild Wars 2 again because of Super Adventure Box.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Super Adventure Box. I want it to come back.
Yeah, maybe when it comes back, we'll force him to play again so he can get
That
over
would
his
be
fear.
so amazing.
Yeah.
I hope it comes back with new story. I really want more.
Do you prefer the story of Super Adventure Box to the actual story?
Yeah, it's better.
So, if you had a choice between basically converting Living Story into Super Adventure Box, would you go for that option?
No, like
They already did
I'm
that.
gonna guess that a small, very organized team, maybe just Josh Foreman, made the story. Like, I can't imagine it was very many people, and they were probably all in sync and had fun and made it. And I doubt they had, like, I'm gonna guess that with the Living Story and whatever, there's some level of bureaucracy looking down from above that kind of wags their finger and says, yeah, just like Inks did there. And so, I don't know. Super Adventure Box story is neat, even though there's not much of it. And the boss fights are cool. Like, I think the Super Adventure Box boss fights may even be better than raid bosses in terms of...
Stop. They are not.
No,
they
they-
are not. They
Well, I
are
mean,
not.
At least Matthias.
It's better than Matthias.
Matthias.
Your
Get outta
hatred of
here.
Matthias is just
No.
ridiculous. You
No,
think
no, no.
Zara? You think Zara is the
No.
best boss?
Yes, it is.
Have you not
Tell me-
seen?
no,
Have you not seen
here.
QT not do anything in the first phase of the fight? In the first
Yeah.
50%, QT didn't do anything. She stood there
Tell
like a
me
target
what-
golem.
Here, we'll do it this way. Tell me why Matthias is a good fight.
Because it's relatively consistent. It has
Wrong.
punishing mechanics.
Wrong.
Yes. There is a bit of
Right.
RNG, which isn't great, but it has
So-
punishing mechanics, it's consistent,
Wrong.
and
Wrong.
it's not buggy either. There we go. Unless you do
Wrong.
the continuum
Wrong.
split. Unless you do
Wrong.
continuum split and you kind
Wrong.
of cack yourself by
Wrong.
accident.
All right, so let's talk about the most annoying, broken part of that fight first.
Okay,
the
let's
aggro.
go.
So the way that it aggroes is it goes to the furthest person away.
Yeah.
And that's fine, except that's not how his aggro works. His aggro is to run to a spot relatively close to where they were at an arbitrary point in time, stand still, spin around to face them, and then chase after them again. Like, it's this run, pivot, run, pivot, run,
Right.
pivot.
But that so
Not
that's a problem.
That's
right. It's a
correct.
problem with pathing.
Yes, that's a problem with pathing. And so his aggro is broken and stupid, and it's bad.
So not at all
And
like
then-
Zera then. There's nothing wrong with Zera.
No, Sarah's aggro is bad too. But it at least tracks someone fairly predictably. Matthias wrong. Matthias's aggro is worse than the Seeker's in Keep Construct Split Phase.
But it's not supposed to. His aggro is supposed to be different in that he goes after the person furthest
Right.
away rather than the one with high
Supposed to be.
stuffness.
His aggro is supposed to be bad, and the rest of them are supposed to be good. That's the difference.
Well, basically Nikki has said the correct answer. It's why you don't have everyone just running around the
except-
entire room.
Where the mechanics mean that you have to run around the entire room.
Not everyone at once, though.
Yeah, but he goes after the furthest person away.
Yeah,
So
but
it
that's only a problem, and that's only a problem. It's only a problem unless if you are fucking the mechanics up, basically. If it's just
Right.
one person, you can predict where he's going to go. It only gets unpredictable and weird if you have people running around like headless chickens.
Right. And so, which of those two things happen? Do people?
Well, insult, you're going to get a massive clown fiesta, you're right, Brazil?
Right.
And LFG.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Alright.
LFG is arguably better than Salt, so...
So established that I'm correct on the first point.
First raid clear, LFG.
So I'm correct about that. His aggro is bad. What else am I correct on? Let's think.
It's more like his aggro punishes you if you are bad.
His
But
pathing
more like
is
his
bad.
aggro is bad, and that people get punished by it because it's bad. See,
Okay.
there's no best. There's only best at.
Yeah,
Except
that's
I
true.
am the
And he's not
Yeah.
best at pathing.
Well,
It's fine.
I'm not sure if you are best, because... Yeah. I don't think any of the raid bosses are, honestly.
Pathing has always been an issue. Continues to be an issue.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're best though, Brazil, because I've seen your character name and it's definitely best at, not best. That's a great name, by the way.
correct.
I can't
I
believe you managed to get the name best at. How is
I
that
can't
possible?
believe I managed to get the name IQ test or list form.
That is a great name.
Such
I
a
just-
common name.
Yeah.
Up in the morning and a character.
But they're
just
such
pops
obvious
up.
names. They're such
I
obvious
know.
names. They
It's
weren't
hiding in
joking.
plain sight. That's how they were.
I feel like I won't be able to properly play Guild Wars 2 until I have a title called Tiny Hands. I
Tiny
need to be
Hands?
called, I need to be Donald Trump, and my title needs to be Tiny Hands. So I think ArenaNet should add a title called Tiny Hands into the game.
Okay.
Does he have tiny hands?
Does he have
He
really
does.
small hands?
I think I've
He's
spent
fuzzy.
much time. with those
His
hands.
some awkwardly tiny hands.
Really?
This is something I need to Google.
That is.
Yeah.
What do
what
you Google for that? Does Trump have tiny hands?
Just Tiny Hands. Donald Tiny Hands Trump. That was his nickname in school.
When does he actually have small hands, or is this some kind of weird meme that I'm not in on?
I don't know.
Finally, there's proof
Fine
that
with me.
Donald Trump has small hands.
There you go.
Whoa, shit! It's.
I mean,
confirmed.
nothing on the internet has ever been a lie, so therefore it must
Yeah,
be true.
it must be true, right?
I see a bunch of ranging from decently to poorly made Photoshop. This one's
Oh,
bad.
these are pretty good actually. Look at these. They got little. He really does have little hands. The fuck?
I don't know.
Kind of look like it, actually.
He's being shopped to make it look like he has baby hands. Yeah. He's an Oompa Loompa in a full bodysuit. That's pretty
It's not-
pretty
It's not
accurate.
too far.
Yeah, it's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Already.
I hope I can just get in one more raid clear before America ends. That's my goal.
Well,
Wait.
they don't vote for a while yet, so I'm sure you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
you gotta.
The election's on the 8th, isn't it?
Oh, really?
November 8th?
Oh shit. Rip.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
It's been a
like
while yet.
Years of talking
it's
about.
done. It's over.
Wow. Yeah, it's true. The United States presidential election of 2016, scheduled for Tuesday, November the 8th, 2016. Have fun, Brazil.
I feel like we should. I feel like.
Well,
I feel
I'm
like
going
Ellen
there
and
soon, so you know.
I feel like Ellen
Yeah.
and Ellen
You,
should go back up.
yeah. You and
Well,
Boots are going to live in the States. Have fun. It's like a great time to move. Just as
Yep.
Trump might be
Fantastic.
elected. It's good.
He's going to Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're going to Washington, yeah?
I'm going to Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, and I had a medical on Friday. If you ever want to go to another country and you're thinking about America, maybe, just maybe, think about not doing it.
Wow.
I am going for like my fiance to get married, and I am happy, and I am so glad I'm going. But the process is just bullshit. It is complete bullshit. It takes
Canada's
fucking ages, and I had to go for a medical, which was intrusive. Is all I will say.
Did you have to?
No comment.
The medical, and I don't know exactly U.S. I can only talk about the Canadian perspective. The medical is weird. So I had
Oh, God.
sort of a long
those
story,
things.
but I had kidney failure. I didn't know I had kidney failure. So I get the medical done, and she's like, you should probably go to the emergency room right now because my blood pressure was through the roof and blood in my urine and blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, no, I feel fine. So I'll go to the doctors. I'll make a doctor's appointment, go to the doctors. So I went home.
Nice.
But so after she took it, and she's like, oh, well, you could have some kidney dysfunction.
Okay.
She didn't say kidney failure at the time. She said you could have some renal dysfunction, which is nothing like, penile dysfunction, because renal is kidney.
Yeah,
But-
I have the second one.
But anyway, so I was like, well, are they going to deny me? Because I was there for a medical, right? That sounds like kind of a serious medical thing. And I figured, like, hey, they're not going to let me stay in the country because there's an underlying medical issue.
And they
And
did.
she's like, no, it's only for, like, AIDS and other contagions and things like, contagions
die,
spread
like-
to other people. And she's like, you can't give kidney failure to other people. So you're fine. You're good. I was like, oh, that's good
Just
to know.
watch me.
That's good to know. So really, like the medical is for like to make sure you don't have Ebola or West Nile or some shit you're bringing into the country. Even though I was already in the country when I got the medical done, but that's besides the point. Whatever.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah, but yeah, that whole process just takes months and months, like a year, literally a year.
Yeah,
Because the whole process took the process itself, the paperwork, the interviews, which were ridiculous.
Mhm.
Jebro, was your interviewer deaf? Because mine was deaf.
I'm not
Look
sure
at your-
that's
my
quite-
answers. She had to read my freaking lips, and she had to have somebody else in the room with her
Wow.
to interpret my answers
Isn't that
in
good?
sign language.
Like, isn't that quite good? Like to have that kind of equality, like in work.
No, your job. Listen,
No,
I understand equality. And that's a great thing. But when your job is to listen to the answers of
That's-
other people speaking to you, you should probably be able to hear them. You should probably not be deaf. And I don't have anything against deaf people.
Are you
But
sure?
if your job is listening to something, like if your job was like listening to music and reviewing it, being deaf is probably not the best thing for you. I'm just saying.
You should have
I don't
learned
know.
sign
Oh, I
language,
mean-
Inks. What the hell?
No,
I don't know sign
that's-
language.
that's-
I apologize. I don't know sign language to speak to this lady.
I disagree with that last part because I would say that pretty much every song that's come out since like 2000, you could be deaf and review it correctly.
I'm not saying that you can't do
So-
the job or that you can't do it correctly. I'm just saying might
Jebro,
not be the
keep your
best.
glasses on. I don't like how you look
That
without them.
might not be the best
Wow.
career choice. That's all I'm saying. All of the career choices you could make.
Are you gonna
being
put
an
limits on people,
interviewer
Inks? Is this what you're doing? You're putting limits on people.
Come on.
Might
This
not
is
be
why.
the best
dude.
choice.
This is why you get negative YouTube comments.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it might not be the best career choice to be someone who interviews people to get into the country if you can't actually hear what they're saying.
Beethoven was deaf, but he also had superpowers, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Like he's deaf in the same regard that Daredevil is blind.
Yeah, that's actually a good comparison.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're yeah.
Yeah.
I'm destroying your dream of being a translator. Well, I'm sorry. It made the entire process take 5 times longer. It was very difficult because at one point the translator didn't translate my answer properly. So then there was a whole thing about how I'm giving incorrect answers when I wasn't. It was a nightmare of a process.
In that regard, I understand.
So it was ridiculous. And I even asked politely at one point if I could have somebody else where I didn't have to have a translator or a language barrier. And I was told, no, you can't have somebody else. You have to just have this person. And it made the process extremely difficult and annoying. And they asked you the most stupidest inane questions ever. Yeah. That even if you were faking a relationship, you would still answer correctly. So the whole process is just a cash grab that makes no sense.
I've not had mine
drawn out.
That's the last bit. I've got to have it on December 1st. And then when I get my visa, which is like 5 or 6 days later, I can literally go to the States. So I'm in mid-December, I'm going to the States.
Nice.
That's the plan.
So after all that stuff was done, then it goes into like review. And in Canada, that takes 50 years, apparently. Literally took a whole year of sitting in review.
Is that to get into, that's not to get into the country, that's for marriage, right? And to stay forever.
We were already married. That was for...
citizenship.
It was for immigration.
All right, okay. So it's so that's the later thing I've got to do.
Yeah.
It's just a long process.
That'll be good, Jebro. You'll like it.
Well, it means I can fully like start streaming and like full time, like not doing like 2 or 3 hours a night where I can't even build like a viewer base and stuff. But the people that are in my stream at the moment, like I'm happy. Like I'm just streaming whatever the fuck I want, and like. It's just fun, you know, like I haven't been able to stream Guild Wars 2 for a while because I'm not having fun as much as I used to. And that's just the God honest truth. Like, because of what's happening. What are you saying?
He took offense to you saying you didn't have fun.
I know, right? Because like,
disgusting.
There's just no ranked PvP. I play the game for PvP at the moment. And I've been playing it for only PvP for the last year and a half. And I've go into raids and stuff sometimes and other things, but everyone is that way in PvP. If you like top tier players, a lot of people, you know, you've got Helseth who's streaming a lot, and a lot of people, some top tier players are playing, but no teams are scrimming each other. No top teams are really scrimming each other that much at all because there's no season, there's no ranks, we don't know what's happening. When the next season, when the next season is, we don't know when the next anything is. All we know is that duo queue might come at some point, which is probably why Matt got me on. but there's TOL this weekend. I mean, it's not that. I mean, you can go to the page and you can see how many people have signed up. Like compared to the last tournaments, it's not that many.
As currently 20 teams so far, or something like that, roughly. I think.
Yeah.
Around that.
Well, a lot of that stuff is. I mean, we've talked about this before too. There's this disconnect on, how can you make that jump from playing PvP to actually competing? There's this weird barrier there that people just can't seem to get past or don't want to bother with it, I guess.
It's because there is no truly competitive laddering system. That's why, because it's on the player to go out and find other teams to try and improve against, right? Just bullying people in with a 5-man pre-made in ranked isn't really going to do you any good, right? You want to get good at the game. You need to actually set up customs with other organized groups, and then you practice against them. That's how you get good at the game. And right, there isn't really that much of that going on, and also because it isn't inbuilt within the game, you actually have to go out and do it, and you got to organize 4 other people, you got to set times, you got to coordinate the other teams as well, you got to sort that stuff out. So it's not exactly an easy thing to do for a lot of people, I think, and that's kind of a problem. But
I don't want to sound like I'm bagging on Guild Wars 2 because that's not what I'm doing.
Shit, like I'm the game, bro.
I'm being honest. Like no, because like I love.
Say the game's trash.
Everyone knows that I love the game. Like I have casted this for since a year into release. I always enjoy it. I will be honest and say that at the moment, especially, I enjoy casting it more than I play it. So I look at scrims, I look at VODs, I look at other people playing, and I learn through them rather than my own personal experiences in gameplay, because I'm fairly average. So I love that part of it as well, and I do love the gameplay as well. But it's very difficult at the moment. Like if you go into, there is no season, you can still play ranked. You know, we're all laughing at the same thing. Oh, those dragons. But you know what I mean? Like, if you guys played ranked this at the moment, I mean, it's dog shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, there's no ranked. It's just unranked, isn't it?
This was the disaster. I actually, honestly, Legend or Legendary is worse than Diamond and Ruby. I'm not even joking. It's actually more cancerous than the lower leagues. It's not nice. I know actually my experience is forever tainted because I kind of fucked up because I didn't actually go after the achievements for the PvP back piece, right? I screwed up massively. I didn't go after them, so I left myself like 3 days to do most of
divisions.
No, not divisions, not divisions. I had a bunch of those. I needed to win like 200 games or something like. Oh, no, not 200 games. It's more like 150 games or something like that, or over 100 games. And I just played for about 3 days. I was playing an insane amount of games, and the season ended before I could finish it. And the thing is, I was on target because I assumed the season would end at reset, right? I assumed it would end at reset, and
you assumed wrong.
I assumed wrong. It ended about an hour and a half before reset, so I missed it by 3 games.
Just some random freaking time.
Like 3 games, I missed it.
Oh, real quially, when does Halloween end?
I don't know.
We don't know. It's a secret. Yeah. Why is it a freaking secret?
In most games, very soon.
Yeah.
My God. Well, I mean, and everybody is saying, and I agree, like probably Tuesday or probably Monday, because Tuesday will be a patch or something, maybe.
Well, they'll
maybe
take it
not
out
a patch. It'll probably be over by Tuesday, which you would expect. But why is it not announced anywhere? Why is it not labeled anywhere? Why is this? I tried to get confirmation on when does it end. No, it's a secret.
Don't get me started on the hype building and how the game is promoted at the moment, because
I just don't understand why there's no. and I know for other updates there has been, like Winter's Day is from such time to such time. Do you know what I mean? So you know exactly
Winter's Day is great.
How long it's going to be. But like this time, there's no end date for Halloween. What?
Yeah.
Why?
I
don't understand. I just want to know when it ends so that I know that I have this much time to work on whatever it is I'm working on for Halloween.
No pants. Sorry. One day there will be snow pants. That day will be glorious.
If we get back to the core issue, though, what do you find not enjoyable about the game right now, Jebro? What does ArenaNet need to do to get you to play the game again and have fun while doing it?
I mean, I am playing
fix Matthias
4 or 5 times a week.
Now we're talking about PvP, Brazil. We're talking about PvP.
Yeah,
here.
I know.
Matthias is not in PvP.
At the moment, you know, I think there needs to be, in between the seasons of rank, there needs to be something that happens. There needs to be either, you know, tournaments or, you know, an active player base in PvP that are willing to come together and, you know, participate and stuff. There's AG, Academy Gaming on NA, which runs most weeks, which is really good. EU is just dead in terms of, you're talking about like mid-tier. And like, I think Mystic Builds probably has more tournaments on weekly than the rest of the EU. So, you know, and it's difficult because, you know, in terms of ESL, people weren't signing up. People weren't interested that much, even in the AG weekly stuff as well. So there is more of a interest on NA at the moment as well. And that's not saying there is no interest on EU. It just seems to be, like you say, people coming together, and there just doesn't seem to be that community as together as it used to be to come together and play in tournaments. So I don't know. It's very difficult. I think the whole solo duo queue thing, like if everyone hasn't seen that vote on the forums, it's on the forums, they're going to make, or they should be making, like solo duo queues for ranked, which is going to be pretty good because your queue times are going to be shorter than they've ever been, because, you know, everyone is going to be put in a position where they can just get into a party quite easily. And the whole, I don't know, I'm quite I don't know if anyone's. Did you guys see that video that you Helseth made
Yes.
on the whole duo
Yeah.
solo queuing? Do you like it? Do you like the idea of it going from 5-man to solo duo?
I don't think it will actually make as much difference as people think. Because I played mostly solo. I played mostly solo duo. There was a time when I was just trying to get to legend, where I just played trio, because apparently trio is like the magic number where you can just brutally stomp people every game. And honestly, I didn't really encounter many full teams or 4-man teams.
No.
It was honestly
rare.
the vast majority of people queuing are already queuing solo duo. So I don't think it is going to reduce the queue times, because there are some 5-mans, 4-mans, 3-mans, obviously, right? So that it makes it easier.
3-man like you say, I think.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to make as much of a difference, but I definitely think it is right, because the advantage is ridiculous. It's absurd, especially in a game like Guild Wars 2, where it's all about kind of having presence on the map and stuff like
Where
that.
after 4 years, people still don't know that 2 people don't cap a point faster. Welcome.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't want to know how many. You know, come on, we've all been there, guys. You know, no one goes to close, or everyone rushes far. You know, this is ranked.
Or
guys.
someone goes to the fucking forest creature.
Yeah, this is
even
ranked.
at spawn,
Yes.
waiting for it.
Even though they changed it, so that can't happen. Yeah. Looks like our dragon hunter's sitting on close the whole game. Well, I guess it's GG. Okay, this is good. This is a fun game. I'm having fun, guys. This is fun. I don't know. I don't know how you solve that though. And the only way you solve that is by having some kind of MMR system, right? Or ELO, whatever you want to do.
Just put all those people together and just let them have fun.
I mean,
I have the solution to this. Okay, we've talked about this already.
Can we get a drum roll, please?
See, yeah, we need to have the same process for PvP ranks that we do for immigrating to America, complete with physical. You gotta get your card for your rank. You get a diamond card, a ruby card, a legend card. We'll do an interview process with deaf people. It'll be great. That's how we take care of it.
Wow.
Worst interview of my life.
It's perfect.
I thought Brazil was going to come up with a genuine good suggestion then.
No, it is.
I think the genuine suggestion is, I mean, let's be real here, guys. They already ripped the Hearthstone system, right, with the pips. It's the same as Stars. It actually works exactly the same as Hearthstone. If you get a win streak, you get 2, like in Hearthstone, right? I say just go the full way. You have pips up to Legendary, and just have MMR from there. Simple. Job done.
Well, how many times have they've revamped PvP, and it normally comes with like a change of like queue system or something else. So, you know, you never know what is coming in the future. Hopefully, I think solo duo queue will help sort out some of the rankings, as well as some kind of reset around MMR or whatever algorithm they're using now.
You don't even need 50% win rate to get to Legend. That's a problem.
Nope.
That's
Legend. Getting to Legend means nothing in the game.
And actually, I hate to say this because I kind of like
how much
it.
game time you have.
Yeah, it means how many. Like, just keep playing until you make Legend. Basically, how much free time do you have?
Obviously, you have to be able to win to a degree.
Sure, but you could luck into quite a few wins.
You can get to Legendary, especially in the 5, which is what I said before. So yeah, it's a good. I think it's good that it's going to go solo duo queue.
Yeah, I agree.
I do wish that there was a dedicated solo queue, like I've wished for a long time.
Or pure solo, only solo.
Pure solo ranked, and then duo or 3-mans. But it would just fuck up.
It would make it a disaster.
It would be off. There's just not enough people.
Yeah, you can't divide the community. You have to be realistic about it. Definitely. Yeah.
I realized that quite early on, but like solo queue would be awesome. There's I think they've actually chucked out quite a few. The maps are there's things that need to change about the new maps, I think, but I still think they're going the right way. They're going conquest direction, which I know might upset you.
Yeah, no. Stronghold, especially with solo duo. I don't know. Maybe solo duo will make Stronghold better because you won't have big bullies like me just rolling over people for fun. with
won't.
5 men, because Stronghold. If you go up against a pre-made in Stronghold, it's like even worse than if you go up against a pre-made in Conquest.
Yeah,
Like it's
absolutely.
so much worse because of how the map plays out. So actually, I think this could kind of be good for Stronghold, because you'll probably see maybe people not getting just burned, because especially when I'm queuing, especially when I'm queuing, guys.
Solo queue
Like,
good for Stronghold. Right, and then you need to put that. Please someone make a Reddit thread about that. I cannot wait. That would be.
I definitely think going in the Conquest direction is the correct way to go, because it is already very popular. Relatively speaking, right? It is the competitive game mode that ArenaNet are gonna go with. So definitely creating new maps. Definitely have at least enough for an actual best of 5. That's the baseline, right? And then you can increase the variety from there. I'm not a big fan of the Colosseum, but I think Capricorn is good. I do think Capricorn is a fun map. Actually, no.
I like Capricorn as well. I don't like the Colosseum.
It's too big in the
run
outside.
distance.
But you play
On the
Thief.
outside.
It's good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the thing is with Thief is that you haven't really got the advantage of using something to get ahead of your opponent too much. Whereas, Colosseum, you can port up to some of the ledges. Whereas in Capricorn, you have to run.
Yeah.
You're still going in a straight line. You haven't really got the advantages. There's a couple of instances where you can, avoid opponents, but it's not the same as Colosseum, right? Because there's definite ledges which give you an advantage, especially if you're going against classes that don't have leaps or whatever, or ports, which is at the moment, is not that many. An engineer, you can get an elixir gun, acid bomb, and you can maybe get up there if you get it exactly right, and you're not a complete scrub like me sometimes.
Just have perfect mechanics. That's all you need.
The mechanics of the map of Colosseum, I really like them, because you can avoid things like the instant down, and you could probably take someone out who's grabbed the revive buff as well. It's not too bad. But the thing that triggers me about that map, and I don't use that word very well, is it just doesn't look good.
I completely agree. Yeah. I completely agree with that.
It does not look good, and it's me. It's just me being critical. It's not me bashing the game. But it just doesn't. I just, I walk up to things and I think this looks like it's been pulled in from somewhere else. And I have no issue with that. But at least the core mechanics of the map, I'm quite happy with. And I can see that being casted. But otherwise, I think they just need to improve the look of it. And it could be good to go. But I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah.
I
think that's a good.
No,
a good
I 100% agree. Aesthetically, I hate the map. But I love the terrain and the neat little spots and playing Thief on it.
Yeah, I mean,
because you can just flat out just lose people on a Thief, and just
you can get to this quick. You can really make your Thief strong.
Yeah, the map is a Thief buff.
Well, that's the thing, though. I think the way Guild Wars 2 PvP maps should be is that the dream, I guess, ever since I started casting, was that you would see different compositions on each map. You would not see the same builds, same classes.
My God, Jebro, he understands how to balance video games. I've always said this shit, and now it's because. Do you know why? It's because he's a Command and Conquer fan, high IQ. Okay. Jebro gets it, guys. He knows how to correctly balance games. What can I say? I mean, actually, ignore the Command and Conquer thing. The Command and Conquer games were not balanced, but that doesn't matter, actually. He knows what to do. You balance the classes around the maps. Easy. There we go.
You're
absolutely right.
If you had a competitive game in, I forgot what the name's called, Colosseum. So, Thief would be, no, it's not even a question of we can't have it because it's crap in team fights or whatever. We're going to have it because it can get to the buffs quickly, it can get to points quickly in decap, even better than it could before. Okay, other people can get up there with ports or whatever, but they've still got more versatility. They've still got it more available to them, and they can use it more consistently. So that makes sense, right? So specific maps, and I just think that would be so awesome to just have more variation like that. Maybe, not underwater combat. Let's not ever do that.
Underwater combat. Here we go.
Everyone was like,
Here
"Whoa,
we
Capricorn,
go."
we're gonna have underwater combat." No,
Yeah.
never fucking put that back in the game. They will never do that because it was bad. Because Mesmer was overpowered.
It's just not balanced.
Nah.
Not balanced at all.
Too much effort. Can you imagine the patch notes with underwater combat as well? Jesus Christ.
It would be great, you know. It'd be great. It'd be even more to balance, you know. Look what they did with the recent patch.
People are already hurt over the flipping recent patch, and you know.
What are they most butthurt about in PvP? Is it druids? Is it sad druids? Crybaby druids?
A bit of Rev. But I think people are aware that Rev needed a bit of a nerf. I think Thief got a little bit of a buff. Ellie got a tiny buff.
Yeah.
But Druid is like, it's definitely still strong, but Celestial Avatar cooldown got increased. It was from 10
to 15.
Yeah.
10 to 15.
Yeah. A lot of the healing is based more off the healing stats, as far as I remember. So there's a load of things. I think that was only World v World and PvP, though. I can't remember if it was all World v World or PvP.
It was.
Was it PvE?
It was everything, yeah. The Druid got memed everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. I don't play PvE, so I didn't really pay attention.
Well, the cooldown was only for PvP, I think, and World vs. World. Okay. Maybe World vs. World. I'm not sure if it was World. I mean, come on, who cares about that game mode, guys? Let's be real here. Nah, I'm kidding. I love you, World vs. World, guys. You know, World vs. World is great for doing dailies. It's great for doing dailies. Okay, great. I go in there, I kill a Doliac, I leave. It's beautiful. I get my world experience. I get my my little potion thing, so I can progress my title. It's great. It's amazing.
The Mesmer nerf in PvE, like, they made it significantly easier to play Mesmer, and people still can't do it.
It's sad about the Mesmer nerfs, wasn't it? Like Signet and
I've been plugging raids and we've been running mirror comp, and it's terrible because no one has Fury.
Wait, how?
Because druids are very, very bad at the game. Most druids.
Even still with the best druids ever. No. Even still with the best druids ever, you're not going to have permanent Fury. If that's your answer.
You should. With Signet, probably.
No, because your pets are going to move when they cast their Fury. People are going to be away doing mechanics on platforms or whatever. And it's just not a reliable source of permanent Fury. If you take Sword on Dragon Hunter, you can give Fury that way. But, like, problem with that is that people don't do it. And the problem with that is that Mesmers are still almost entirely all bad. There are no good Mesmers. And Revenant was literally just turn on one button and everyone gets Fury. And so, like, we just kind of gave up on it. Like, one of the groups that I raid with, primarily on NA. And we just started running 442 with Necros. I was the only Chrono. We had a Rev. And, everybody had a lot of quickness. Everybody had Fury. We still played with Necros. And we played the same as before, and it was fine. Like, everything was fine. And I came to the realization that ArenaNet had broken... They had broken everything. They had made it worse, but they had made it so bad that it actually makes sense to play the comp that they got rid of, and it still works better than the composition they tried to force. Because that's how just messed up and turned around everything is. So they, like, nerfed it so hard it made a 360.
Well, I mean... First of all, and I'm sorry that some people find that they're really difficult, but raids are not. The bar for raiding completion is not that high. The difficulty bar is just not that high. I'm sorry, and that's why you're able to run all the old builds and clear all the content just like you could before all the nerfs and changes and whatever.
No. It's because with mirror comp, with mirror comp, people don't have Fury, and that's like.
But you should have Fury. There's no reason.
It's not reliable if it's only the Druid. It's just not reliable.
Then you're playing Druid wrong.
If the Druid can't press F2, then you're right. Then it isn't reliable. You're right.
Gotta press F2. I know that's difficult. You're not used to pressing that button, but you're gonna have to press F2. And there are buttons, while limited, you can control the pet.
Look, you're triggering
I mean-
Brobo now. Look what you've done, Brazil. Brobo's triggered.
Brobo's
So
wrong.
They can take one.
am I still playing Revenant in raids? I'm still playing Revenant. I haven't raided in forever. Honestly. I number one, I haven't had time, and I just really don't feel like being bothered with it right now.
It's like it's a combination of people just being like so much worse than I thought. Like it was literally like before the Rev Chrono combo was like so carry that like I didn't even realize how bad it was. Because when you see groups that are doing like 40 to 50k less DPS than they were beforehand, again, those are just ballpark estimations based on like Kernan spawning whenever the East Cannon is up. Like, I don't know. It's bad.
It's just people getting
It's
used
really
to it.
bad.
No. It's just people getting used to it. You know why?
Clearing, yeah,
Do you
something
remember
else.
your first ever Gorseville killer, Brazil? Do you remember our first ever
I
Veil
remember.
Guardian kill?
I
Jebro
remember.
was there. Jebro was there for us. 'Cause he was
Tetris
very-
Oh
Farm
shit,
remembers.
that's right.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Do you remember how much of a complete... we had like fucking 3 revs, I don't know, like 1 warrior, a
Yeah.
tank druid, some... No, I was playing Knights, tank, necro.
when you playing it?
Some weird
Yeah,
shit's
yeah,
going
yeah.
on. Yeah, I was playing tank necro with Knight's gear. Just, I didn't even know what I was doing, but it was terrible. It's just because everything has to get figured out again now. People have to realize how to play. I mean, look at the Chinese, okay? The Chinese, even they say, okay? Even the Chinese say,
Oh, no.
we still make some mistake, okay? We still make some mistake, exactly. And, you know, these guys, they're the best of the best, okay? Well, not nearly as good as QT. They're about 10 seconds behind QT's new elitism video, where they skip every mechanic on Zera. But, you know, even those guys, they're still getting used to it, okay? There you go. And that's, at the end of the day, Brazil, as soon as people learn how to play Mesmer, they will
Alright.
become good.
So that's not going to happen. People still aren't going to learn how to play Druid. And people are going to persistently just insist on being bad at the game. And, like, there's... I don't
kind of
know.
interesting.
That
It's
sounds
kind of
negative, and that sounds mean, and I sound like I sound like a meanie bum bum. But
Meanie
like,
beanie bum bum.
yeah,
How very-
I'm not gonna swear. I'm not
Now,
gonna say any
Brazil, that
rude
is what
words.
you're No.
But like,
Meanie beanie bum bum. You need to.
I don't
change your
know.
Twitter handle.
yeah, I'll change it. It's a really good meme right now. My Twitter name is such a good meme, and no one's gonna get it, and it's
I can't
kind of
find
sucks
you.
a little bit.
I can't
What do
find
you
He's
mean?
tired logging minion.
What is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's Brazil GW2 still, but my name is different.
Yeah, he changed it. But because it's very spooky.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it's a good meme.
It's a good meme, a good mash.
Yes. But, like, I don't know. You're going to get in groups where people run mirror comp just fine. And, like, this has been the case with everything. And you're going to get in groups where people think we have to run mirror comp because we see this YouTube video, they kill the boss, it's good. And they're just like little robots, and they can't do anything. Like, they can't press buttons. They don't understand that Fury is a 20% critical hit chance increase. And, like, they just don't have anything, and they do 60k DPS on Sabbatha, and it's just like, well, alright, this isn't gonna work.
The problem is that there were some players who were using Tiger, which is an inferior pet for DPS, by the way, and were never pressing F2 to begin with. So now that they have to press F2, they don't realize they need to.
I thought Tiger was quite good now, isn't it? Recently,
Well, it's a
become
cat,
quite
and
good.
cats do damage.
Cats are good, but Lynx is better than Tiger anyway.
Yeah, but Tiger gives Fury, so
bristleback
it's better.
position properly is better than that.
There's something
as well.
in PvP about the Tiger doing ridiculous like spike damage.
But-
Yeah,
So 1v1s.
yeah.
Tiger is inferior. Yes, it is. Tiger
it-
is inferior.
there's
If you
a-
do not need the Fury, Tiger is an inferior pet to Lynx.
There's some
Just
really,
this.
really weird
Go do
shit
the DPS.
where
Go do the math.
in PvP, if you do some kind of really wacky combo, the Tiger F2 can kind of leap at you for 20k damage or something like
Yeah.
that, and just
With the
insta kill
sword
you.
too.
Yeah.
Is it
just,
Great Sword 2? Alright.
there you go. I don't know, man. It just gets a bit weird. It just leaps at you and rips your head off. But you need Furying, so you still need the Tiger. So nice IQ, Inks.
I said if you didn't need the Fury.
Yeah, but you do need the Fury, though.
Yeah, now, but I'm talking about before the patch, people were running Tiger all over the place, never using F2. And using the wrong damn
They
pedal.
didn't use F2? What, are they just bad at the game? What is this? I don't know.
I think that's been the point that I've been making. People just like, I don't know. People,
yeah,
Right, so
but
that's
if they were bad at the game, they were bad at the game before. Just the
but they were I don't know. See, ArenaNet was correct in the regard that they just like, I don't know, obliterated the carry. What, Jebro? Hi.
Guild Wars 2 is aimed at a casual player audience.
Yeah, and they shouldn't raid.
It doesn't matter what you aim it at, because
surprised?
raids are not aimed at that audience.
Raids
are aimed at the audience that is.
This is not
above
bash. I'm not bashing
This
casual
is
players, but
no,
like,
I know.
it's like it's not like there's. I think people, and it's not disagreeing or agreeing with anyone really, but I think there's a high expectation from who I would say you guys are all higher level players for sure, right? I would say you know your shit, right? There are not many people who know, and in the chat or even on Twitch watching Guild Wars 2 streams, there are not that many people compared to you guys or me or the chat that know this game that well. Like, this is just the way of Guild Wars 2. This is the way the community is. It's just the way it is. Like, and raids brought across that. It's not elitism, because that sounds insulting. But it's
it's not just elitism, Jebro. It's delusional elitism. Okay. We are the self-proclaimed top players.
That's right. That's right.
But you guys, you're humble. You're trying to help people, as far as I know. But it's infuriating, and it's like PvP. When I get into a PvP game, I still rage like a motherfucker. I turn into a 12-year-old boy, and I start to chat, and I tell people that they need to fucking sort their lives out. All right, I don't swear at them, but I still say, how do you not know that this is a capture point? With one person captures the fucking point, it takes the same time as 7. And why are we in the game?
I can tell you why, Jebro. It's because. You know what they want? They want their legendary back piece. Honestly, you were doomed as soon as they put the legendary back piece in the game.
Yeah.
Because suddenly, you've got all the plebs queuing up. Oh, I gotta get to legend. So they play a million games a day, and they just join games and ruin them. And you were doomed as soon as they put the legendary back piece in the game.
I actually thought that was one of the best things they put into PvP, actually. And
I like
it was so
sure, but it brings a lot of people in.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it looks really good. I really wish I could have got it.
It sucks to be you.
Fuck you.
It's one of those things where I'm like,
confirmed. Inks is better than MightyTeapot.
Yeah, you're better at PvP, man.
I have my legendary back piece.
Yeah,
what can I say?
That's the thing, though, it
Rip me.
doesn't mean that you're better at some pits.
No, it does. It literally means I'm better.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it actually does. I'm just gonna confirm that it actually does.
I mean, I never made it to legend in any of the seasons, but I have a legendary back piece, so that's all that matters.
That's the thing. That should be one of the requirements.
It's a good meme.
That's actually very true.
I didn't even make it out of Emerald in season 1, and I'm still legendary.
God, I think last season I didn't try that hard actually, but I'm not gonna say. It's embarrassing, but it's just ridiculous. Like, and you're always going to get those people who don't know what they're doing, and they go into raids, and they're like, they don't look up tactics, they don't have the right gear, they don't have food, they don't. I think that's just typical of many games, but I think it's more typical of Guild Wars 2. Until like a couple of years down the road, and maybe Guild Wars 3 ever happens, then or expansions where there's more raids, like people will slowly learn. And then, I think that's something that will change, but will never, ever go from any raiding game you will ever have. But it's just, and like Matt said, before, when there's a balance patch, like, things just get turned upside down. Like PvP, no one's really sure exactly what will happen, because, NG got not wrecked, but days got fucked up a little bit, and it's not as strong as it was. But they always need to nerf like survivability. Druids can't condy cleanse themselves. They can't heal as much as they could have done before. They've I think the heal and their elite got nerfed a bit as well on the cooldown, I think. So there's a lot of that kind of sustainability. They're trying to get rid of sustainability for classes so they don't last as long at things. So in PvE, I guess you haven't got as many boons being spat out as much as you had before, right? Is that a thing, or is it?
Yeah, it's the Signet of Inspiration thing is. It's kind of rippled throughout PvE, and there's just less boons all over the place right now.
That's good.
Because of it's
not really skill, though, is it? Like you don't need skill to. Well, maybe you do apparently.
All right, so here, let me explain something. Okay?
Brazil is not going to give you an accurate representation of the facts. There, I'm just going to put a disclaimer down here because Brazil is salty as fuck. Vape Nation, boys.
So. Beforehand, there was an actual rotation that you had to stick to maintain quickness and alacrity on Mesmer. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I guess I could break it down and explain what it was. I'll just say that it required like lots of finesse and practice. And now your rotation is go into Continuum Split, put down Well of Action and Well of Recall, and use Shield 4 and use Signet of Inspiration. So you've cut like 4 actions out. That's the old rotation minus like 4 actions. And so then you come out of Continuum Split, you put down Well of Action and Well of Recall, and then you do Shield 4 and then Signet of Inspiration. And that's it. That's like 9 button presses. And then like whenever they're up again, like you don't do anything in the meantime, whenever your skills are up again, you just use them off cooldown. And you just manage the quickness. It's very easy. Like, it's significantly easier than before, and people still don't do it. Like, you're in a double, like, you're in a mirror comp. What? Why should I be happy?
Because they're making the game more accessible. The Chronomancer is one of the most important roles as well, right? So why not make it more accessible for people?
More sports, more survivability, more people doing the raids, more people playing the raids, more people...
And even better... Now, I actually think this is actually the mirror comp is. I don't know. I'm not sure if they intended this. If they did, that's that's pretty smart. But now you can have one Chronomancer. They can just go ahead and practice their rotation because they're not tanking, and then one Chronomancer who's more experienced can tank, right? If necessary. So now you have that option that you can learn way easier. There's a lower barrier to entry on the Chronomancer, right?
I'm not even sure that you need 2 Chronomancers. I think you can still do it with 1.
Well, you can do it with Brazil. You can do it with fucking 10 healing Tempest. It's all good,
No, I'm talking about maintaining maybe not permanent quickness, probably pretty close, like 80 to 90% uptime. I think you could still do that with 1, and I think you could maintain enough alacrity too.
I think it would require some weird fancy footwork to make sure the distribution works out.
I don't even think it requires that. And like also this is interesting, Time Warp is actually bad now. Like you just don't take it.
Is it though?
Yes.
If you fuck your rotation, then you can use it, right? And make it
except don't do that. Easy.
Well,
if you're one of the Chronomancers who I see you and the rotation's easy and you still don't do anything, then please just take Time Warp. And just use Time Warp and Continuum Split, and if that's all you do, fine. Like, I don't know. It just kills me. Like, and this is probably coming from a place of arrogance as much as I don't want it to or don't mean it to. But just like seeing how hard the Chrono Rev just carried people now, it's just eye-opening. It's just like, oh my god.
Well, then you can understand why they didn't want that to continue, right?
Sure, yeah, I guess I get that now. But it's just like, it's so much worse than I thought it was.
And going all the way back to the Rangers and the pets, the point is that before the patch, it wasn't uncommon to not seeing the pets getting used properly in raids, or a better term would be the most efficiently. So now you're in a spot where the Tiger's Fury is way more important because you basically never have a Revenant around, where generally speaking you're not going to have the Revenant. And don't get me wrong, there are other classes like Guardians that can help with the Fury as well. But it's more important for you to maintain that Fury and watch your pet and what it's doing so that you can provide what it needs to provide. And I think that's where Brazil's saying, like, he's running with groups where they never have Fury because the druids aren't, they're not maintaining it properly because they're not used to having to maintain it properly.
And like beforehand, like bad Chronos before, even when Chrono was like just quickness bot, like they still never gave quickness somehow. Still, they never gave quickness, and now they still don't give quickness. Except now you have groups with no Fury and still no quickness, and like it's just a mess. Like it's just horrible. And yeah, like Nike raises a fair point. Like there are instances where Time Warp would make sense, like splitting on spirits at Gorseval. You could use it there. Like I would argue that maybe you would take it at Sabbatha and just Time Warp on card or something because people have trouble dealing with him. And like there are probably other instances where you might want to take it too. But like at Zera, if you get split to a platform or something, or if people go away and you want quickness while people are off at the platform, and you don't want to do your rotation, you want to wait for people to come back. Anyways, like, I don't know. It's just, the carry got deleted. The good players that carried hard, like QT Chronos, who could just permanent quickness everyone, or like I have another friend who's really good at Chrono. They just like deleted that from the other people and they killed the buffer.
This comes down to passive play. So they took a part of the passive play game away. Or generally speaking, players won't use that passive play because there's a better option out there now, and it's more of an active play. You've got to be a little more active to make sure that everybody has Fury, and a little more active to make sure that everybody's getting the buffs, where before it was really just the Chronomancer doing most of the work. And I mean, Rev was there, but he's passively there helping the Chronomancer.
Well, but there are ways you can fix this, though. I mean, like, Brobo basically said this, well, a bunch of people, including Brobo, said this in chat. Just, if you're horrible at Druid, then just take a Warhorn. Job done.
There you go.
Then you don't even have to press F2, probably. I mean, you press F2 sometimes, other times just press 5. Job done. Call the ward. Let's go. When you pet swap, well, if you're Scrub Druid, you're running full Magi or whatever, you're fucking casual. So you just have nature magic, so you've got more boon duration anyway, and you've got Monk Rune, so you've got even more boon duration. Now I don't know how you can fuck up the Fury. I mean, just don't.
Happens a lot. Happens a lot.
Just fucking don't.
It's like
I wish that was
this
the
example. This example has come up in chat once again because it's almost a meme how much I talk about it. Old meta 442 Revenants and Protection. Why can't they do it? Why does no one? I'm pretty sure not many of them even knew they were even capable of doing such a thing. A guy on stream, he says, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna give everyone." Oh God, no, I can't even say this because it's so retarded. He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna give everyone quickness with by activating my Glint Elite, but it gives super speed, not quickness," and he thought it was quickness. Oh no! He didn't even know it gave protection. He thought he was for CC and giving people quickness. I just can't deal with that. What? They don't even read their abilities, guys. They don't even read their abilities. Just like MMO inks.
Yeah.
How did I get pulled into not reading abilities? Wow.
I'm sorry, Inks. I love you. That was mean.
Jeez.
No, I wasn't. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I don't know.
Annoying to get the people who like don't know what they do, and like it's irritating when people think they're doing it fine. Like this goes back to Granddaddy Nemesis, where people say I'm playing a DPS build, I'm doing 20k DPS, and it's like no, you're not. People who think like just because they have X means that everything works correctly, no, it doesn't. You have to go practice. You have to go spend time. You have to research. You have to take time to apply the knowledge and realize you're not good at it. And then you have to take the steps to become good.
Brazil, we were pugging on AA. Do you remember that warrior who said not only that he that he was the best warrior in the game?
Yes.
That he was doing, what did he say? He was doing like 30k DPS on warrior, Condi warrior, and that taking banners was a waste because it reduces his DPS. Because the other warrior had banners, and that was one of the few people I've actually kicked from the group, from a group actually, because it was just beyond hope. There's no hope for that. It's just he had to be disposed of.
At the end of the day, the stuff that we're talking about here, and for people who rewatch this later, I don't know that this point gets across oftentimes. I think it's missed. But we're talking about very, I guess, extreme cases for rating. A lot of the stuff that we're talking about, or maybe even sometimes have complaints about, it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because like Teapot said, you were clearing the raids in Knight's gear and, 5 Chronomancers or something in your group. It didn't, the composition is important if you want to save your sanity, or if you want to clear something quickly, but the reality is you can take anything you want and nearly anything you want as long as you hit certain staples, and you're going to clear the raids.
You have to pass mechanics. You have to do mechanics.
Yeah, and the mechanics are not that difficult. They're really not.
Yes, but there's a correlation with people who can't play their class and can't do mechanics. Interestingly enough. So you get enough of those and it becomes difficult. And it's just like, please go take some time to practice. That would be excellent. Or if you have the correct attitude, I'll teach you or someone else will teach you and we will help you. But people I don't know, I joined a teaching Veil Guardian run last night undercover. And there were 2 Chronomancers who were both
undercover.
One of them was significantly worse than he thought he was, and the other one
was worse than he
wasn't as bad as the first one. But
next time in Brazil undercover. In
the teaching Veil Guardian run, they wanted to do no green circles will perma distort everything.
Oh no.
And so the tank got ported, and the other guy was telling me, I was playing engineer, he said, you have to big ol' bomb the Seekers away. And what does he do? He focus pulls the Seekers into the group and wipes us. He blames it on me, and I said, I'm sorry, man. I didn't focus pull the Seekers into the group on engineer. I can't actually do that.
There should be a YouTube series for you. This should be a YouTube series. Brazil Undercover.
It's not like teaching runs are for people who want to go in and want to learn. And we had a guy who's like, this is the furthest in a raid I've ever been. And it's like, all right, we'll give you advice. We'll teach you what to do. And then we have these just jackasses who just want to show off and want to pretend to be the best chrono ever. Yeah. And it's like, just get out.
Well, QT does it.
Leave.
So it must be fine. That's how we should teach everybody, right? Yeah, Nike says, teach. You're trying to teach them to run a marathon before you teach them to crawl. Yeah, it's like the opposite of how you're supposed to teach people.
Like, if I want to go lose 100 pounds and go biking with Nike, I'm not just going to go grab a bicycle and try to keep up with it. First, I'm gonna,
people see those benchmarks. People see the QT benchmarks and they say, "Well,
yeah,
I play Ellie. That means I do 40k DPS."
Yeah, exactly.
I play Ellie. I do 40k DPS, right? In every fight, I do 40k DPS. That's what they actually think.
Yes.
And some people do believe that. They go,
I feel like I need to make a 3-part video series about this.
A 3-part video series.
I mean, I need a Brazil Undercover series, so I don't know.
Or Brazil Uncovered series.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh.
No. Currently with green. What is that thing anyway?
What?
It's a troll.
It's a haiku dragon.
And
my avatar.
Duck.
Yeah, that's what I look like now. Didn't you see me beforehand?
And the duck with his legendary glow.
Yeah.
His
Rub the
infusion.
magic duck to summon haiku spirits.
Exactly.
I was on a good
Alright,
ecto gamble
here we
roll
go.
the other
Alright.
day.
What's going on? I'm sick and tired of making good jokes and no one understanding. All right. So, there's an item in the gym store called Tireless Logging Minion. It harvests logs, as you might expect. And so I have changed my Twitter avatar to something from the dawn of the internet. And it's called the Woodcutter. And here's a website with a cartoon of that character. And you can go dig around there, and you can understand how meta of a joke I've made and how wonderful it is. It's good.
Okay.
It's a good joke. It's very deep. Jebro's freaking out.
Oh
What is
wow,
this shit?
it's so interactive, man.
Yeah, it is.
I reckon TeaPot should put this on the screen and you should like.
The fuck
What
is this?
There were some very interesting images. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
What the fuck is this shit?
Is this a hand holding a dagger with the Eye of Sauron on the end? This is-
Oh, does it make sound as well? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's got sound too.
Oh, apparently it's really loud.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just. No, actually, I'm
Oh
not
wow,
gonna-
that is actually scary. I'm
It's
with.
pretty fucking terrifying. Yeah.
It says
I don't
get
know.
a dope flash here. Do you
But yeah,
use your
I found it.
If we
Fucking found it.
if we can
It's
bring
scary.
this full circle, guys, people in this game are delusional about how good they are in every game mode, and there are a lot of
Every guess,
you know,
yes, in every
if we just talk about PvP, there are those druids who will rush far every game, die, and then just do the same thing, respawn and then rush far again. And in PvE, you have people who actually think they do 30k DPS on Connie Warrior and don't think they should take banners. It's basically the same thing. In fact, that druid is probably the same guy as the Connie Warrior. Okay, I don't really know where we were going with this massive tangent, but I feel like we've really come full circle here.
It doesn't matter though, because if you had a pitchfork, you could just trip them in their armor and stab them, and it wouldn't protect them because Builders 2 doesn't have realistic armor.
There is that. I mean, just don't.
It's
forget
true.
that fact.
It's true. Is World versus World delusional though?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they don't have
Without a doubt.
they don't
The-
have
the
boons now. How
problem-
can they play the game? They don't have boons.
No, the problem with World versus World players is they're all under the impression that their game mode matters. So it's just a
Wow.
fundamental flaw.
Harsh.
Well,
Okay, right. Okay, here we go.
No. I was getting my gift of battle, and I went along with a friend's World versus World guild, and I just like muted my mic. I never said anything. They didn't know who I was. And like at some point, they asked my friend. They said, "Who's your friend?" And they said, "Oh, he's a guy I PVE with." And they all made fun of me for being a PVE character. Meanwhile, the whole night
It's about
we
standard.
ran around. We put down necro wells and like guardian symbols on top of blobs of people that didn't render, and we ran in circles inside of Stone Mist Castle and pretended that it was a game mode. And then after hours of just wanting to claw out my eyes and watching Netflix on another monitor, it was done. And I thought, how could you possibly look forward to doing this tomorrow?
World v World
running
was
in
the
a circle?
best. The World v World was probably one of the best. Was probably my favorite game mode. Year and a half at launch. It was really fucking good. And I mean, like, I don't know if you ever played Warhammer Online or Dark Age of Camelot or any like RVR game, but it was so good because people didn't know the builds, people didn't know what the best things were. Like people were using Portal, where infinite amount of people could run through it. It was like you just do these awesome Portal plays behind like enemy lines and shit. There'd be like a Mesmer hanging out there for like literally 4 hours waiting for the best opportunity.
Oh my god!
And it was just fucking the most trolly shit. And it was so good. You used to have like server pride and like there was all these awesome battles like where you had siege in random places around the map. Like it was like it was like battles, you know, some like medieval battle you see on the movie or some shit, rather than this concentrated blob in a circle like this, just running around the map, making things happen, which in my opinion isn't a good thing, because I just think, you know, there should be fighting and there should be big scale warfare, and people should just be fucking, I don't know, using siege in different, you know, and I don't know, I think something happened where all that changed, and you know, like I don't know if it's GVG or whatever, but like GVG I think is cool. I enjoyed participating in it. I think it's shit to watch. I think it's the worst thing in the world to watch. I think you have to be in that community. You have to be really in yourself as a player to watch it as well. That's why they're never gonna make it.
Someone's made a joke, and I have to explain how wrong they are.
Okay.
So they say you enjoy dodging out of red circles and raids and fractals every day. So the second part of that is just patently absurd, because fractals are horrible content, and I don't understand how people enjoy those. They're bad. The first part of that is that, you see, in raids, it may just be, you know, dodging out of red circles, but I can at least see what's happening. I can see the models. It's not a GVG live stream where you just see unrendered player models and particle effects just crashing into each other. See, there's a big difference there, interestingly enough.
You have to forget, like, you have to also respect the fact that people do have their opinion, and they do enjoy it. They just enjoy what they enjoy.
It's perfectly okay for people to be wrong. Like, that's fine.
Okay.
And they are. That's fine. Like, I understand that not everyone's right like I am. I've come to terms with that.
I mean, World v World has improved, and they've put some stuff, they've put bits and pieces in there. I don't really play it enough to really comment, but I wanted to go in there and get the new armor.
All right. Or you could have a good PC. Scroll down on the stream real fast, and I want you to read out those PC specs that MightyTeapot has. I'll help you out. I'll read them for you live.
Actually, I don't know what PC you use.
All right, so we've got a setup. We have an i7 5960X at 4.1 gigahertz. That's an 8-core, right?
Yep.
It's an 8-core i7 Extreme Edition. We have an NVIDIA GTX Titan Black. We have 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM at 1866 megahertz. And we have an Asus Rampage 5 Extreme. And MightyTeapot cannot play at 60 FPS at max settings.
You know why that is, though?
No.
You know why that is, though, don't you?
Wrong.
No, so I'll tell you why. It's because he has an Apple keyboard.
It's leeching all the FPS. All the FPS is gone.
Can't handle it. Compatibility issues. Apple keyboard reduces FPS.
Yeah, it's true, you know.
I mean, I don't know. I played World vs. World on and off in the first 3 years of the game. I was in a couple different World vs. World guilds. And don't get me wrong, I had my fun when I was playing that mode and when I was running around with them, but I don't get this. I don't get these comparisons that people make on this is easier than this and this is ridiculous. How could you have fun standing in red circles and this is way more fun? Like, everybody has different tastes of what is and isn't fun. But World vs. World for me, and I wasn't a roamer, I played with a guild. It was a blob of players, more or less, depending on the size of, you know, how many players we had. But it was, you know, it was running around taking keeps and capture points a lot. And every once in a while, we would run into another group that you could actually fight. And either you would get wiped or they would wipe you. And that would happen 2 or 3 times. And then the other group would just say, you know what? I'm not playing against you anymore. I'm taking my bucket. I'm going home. Fuck you. They would get tired of losing, or you would get tired of getting beat, and you would just move to another map. So
conceptually, at a conceptual level, World versus World is the greatest conceivable concept for Guild Wars 2 for any game. It is a wonderful, marvelous concept. It is a beautiful thing. Having different servers fight each other in some like
it's good.
Non-existent mist realm on like epic maps with towers. The problem is, is that people found out how to speed run it, and speedrunners are toxic elitists and just blob around and take keep.
Yeah, that's what it turned into. I think that's actually probably quite a good description. Like, there's and I don't
We
mean to sell that
optimize
game.
the games play.
Have you heard?
Got it,
Campbell?
guys.
I played on Blackgate as well. So my
Yeah.
my view of what World vs. World is or isn't might be skewed by that. Like, I'm used to playing on a tier 1 server, not since day one, because Blackgate took some time to get up there, obviously. But for more than 2 years, I played on a tier 1 server, and obviously that is probably a very different feeling than playing on a not tier 1 server.
Yep.
So
because
my experience is tier 1 World vs. World, whatever that means to you. That's what I played.
Because all you see is when you go into a map and you're like a player who's like, oh, what's this place? And then you just suddenly see this massive blob of people just running around the map in a clockwise direction. Yeah. You're like, I don't want to go in there because I'm just going to get wrecked. So,
and there's definitely, don't get me wrong, like there's definitely strategy involved there where...
Oh, of course, yeah. Have it.
You would, there was a larger, at least for Blackgate, I can't speak for other servers, for Blackgate, there's a Blackgate team speak where different commanders are coordinating with each other on, we need a group here, we need a group on this map, we need a group
Most servers do,
whatever, right? So there is strategy there is a higher level of thinking amongst those commanders and players, but as a soldier who follows other commanders, and being commander probably has a very different experience, probably way more enjoyable. But just being a soldier, it's a lot of running around
I
not
think
really
the problem
doing too much.
The problem with everything in Guild Wars 2 is that people figured out how to do it well, and I don't think they ever thought that anything would ever get optimized, because I really do truly think that ArenaNet thought dungeons would just be people taking whatever build they wanted in the friendliest MMO community and just casually wiping to the AC Spider Queen for 25 hours straight. And they probably thought that World vs. World was going to be like a guild holding a tower while like the enemy server endlessly waypoint zergs into it and just dies for forever for like a week straight. They probably thought that's what was going to happen. And like they probably thought that PvP was going to be like hyper competitive with good balance. And they probably never thought that if you dodge roll with a mace on a guardian, you can bug out the block and permanently block everything for the entire game, and the block never goes away.
What?
They probably never thought that any of that was going to happen. They probably didn't think that the jumping puzzle on Faux Fire at Waterfall, where you could just permanently kite anyone, they probably never thought that people would find that. Spoiler alert. People figured the game out, and I don't think that they thought that would be the audience of people that played Guild Wars 2. I think that's brought upon the current state of everyone being mad about everything, myself included.
They're very much
the
aware
audience.
Of it,
though. They are now.
Yeah, because they're fixing it, because they're trying to remove the cancer, and the great step they did in this patch was removing the invulnerability on downstate.
Yes,
that is a tumor that had to be removed.
And I
from
think
the game.
like on the back end, like there were problems that developed. I say problems in terms of ArenaNet's perspective. I think there were problems that showed up really quickly, like people soloing dungeons, people doing a raw in 30 seconds, like all this stuff with meta berserker speedruns. And, like, they never thought that the condition cap would be a problem. Like, all of that stuff. And that's, like, serious back-end work. They probably never thought that culling was going to be an issue. And, like, that's, like, serious back-end, low-level stuff that took them probably, like, years to fix. Like, how long did it take them to fix the condition cap? Like, 2.5 years? Something like that? Like, that's insane.
Something like that.
Well, no, that was a design philosophy that didn't work, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to differentiate the conditions, and they realized that really doesn't work if you want to make condition builds more common and usable.
Yeah, they thought that people would just, like, show up after work and hang out. I'm going to play this game for half an hour tonight. It's a casual MMO. And, like, that didn't happen. Like, it happened for some people, but, like... people
I-
wanted more,
I
and
don't
people
know.
optimized, and it just we see what's happened to the game, and I think that they just misjudged the audience very, very severely.
I don't know.
They've got such a varied audience, though. I mean, it's
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
the problem is I think one of the problem is it's never. I'm not sure if they ever had. I mean, they had like an audience in mind, right? For like you say,
Right.
like more of a casual. But then there's these elements where, they introduced the elements where there would be, say, elitism or professional players or whatever. And I'm not professional players, because they are professional players, like that play esports in Guild Wars 2. It was, in terms of what an esport is, and I don't agree with it in terms of what Guild Wars 2 was, but they were professional players. They got paid money for entering something, and they earned money out of it. And then giving people necessarily maybe like tools to be able to be that good at something, or the game to actually be working in a way where people can get good at something, I think they're just starting to get around to that in a way. And this comes back to Matt's point about passive play, in terms of, and it's something which is very active in PvP, specifically for, say, like a scrapper. This is why they're nerfing all this shit, like days on
Gyro detonation.
Gyros. Yeah, and they'll probably more than definitely do something with the gyro rezzing, for example, whereas, you have to actually press a button to do that. And trying to get rid of all this passive stuff that happens in the game is ridiculously important, but at the same time, where then does that shift the focus of audience? Because at the moment, that kind of stuff was great for passive players, passive players in an MMO.
That's
funny.
me. I'm a passive player.
Maybe passive aggressive.
Ooh.
I'm that as well. Jebro's just defining me.
MMO Inks is the ideal audience for Guild Wars 2.
I'm the passively aggressive person in Guild Wars 2.
Okay, that actually makes sense.
Passively pacifist.
Passively pacifist. Yeah, whatever.
Anyway.
I got it. He starts to do that, then it starts to go to a point where people have to be able to know their class more. They have to be able to be a little bit more proficient, and then maybe that content isn't accessible because they feel they're not as good. But then it's not a casual player, is it?
But not really, because you can just play open world, and you jump into a Zerg, and it doesn't matter what you know about your class. Just press 1.
Of course.
So I think it's fine. Like, I think that, sure, don't get me wrong, maybe the core audience is more casual based.
Mm-hmm.
Put Jebro into Hell's Angels. Yeah. I think that I don't know. The core of the game, the core of the PvE experience, sure, that's a very casual type experience, I think, generally speaking. But you can still add, I really believe that you can still add harder elements to the game. Raids don't have to necessarily be all easy mode. You can add levels of difficulty there. They're not necessarily doing that, but they could.
think they did it backwards. I think they underestimated the people that were going to raid. They just massively underestimated. So you have QT killing Zera just standing still. And so instead of making the raids harder, which is like that would have created there would have been an outrage about that I don't even want to think about, like how great that would have been if they just buffed raids, like to make it harder. Instead, they can covertly, like undercover, make raids harder by just
when you add hard
wrecking everything in the balance.
Did they though? Did they? I don't think they did make it harder.
No, not really.
This is the thing. I don't understand what actual problem you have with this result. I don't actually understand what problem you're even talking about, because even after the patch, the damage is basically the same. In fact, I don't think QT has ever done a faster kill than what they recently uploaded on Zera.
What are they playing? What are they playing?
They played what? It was 2 Chronos, 2 Druids, 2 Warriors, and 4 Ellies. And
All
I
right,
know you're
see,
gonna
there
get
we go.
triggered because it was four
Ellies.
Ellies.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. In fairness, they probably could have done that before the patch as well. But
So we have extra quickness because they have good chronos. We have Fury from the correct resources for 5.5, and we have
They press those
classes that
buttons,
had
everyone.
their DPS.
so what you're
buffed.
telling me is, Brazil, if they play their classes correctly, they get good results. Is that
Yeah.
really what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you. Interestingly
then
enough,
I don't-
that's
where's
the
the
point that
issue?
I've been making.
What's the
Because
issue?
it just pulls the floor out from under everyone else. The people who don't want to get better, the people that don't care, the people that think I'm doing 40k DPS because I play a Tempest.
That's good. How is that bad?
Because look at you and I. We've become inconvenienced by all of those people. You remember raiding with Salt last week? Was it fun? Raiding with that guy who thought he was the best warrior in the game?
Yeah, but
We
that
had a
guy
blast,
would have
didn't we?
that guy would have been a pain in the ass anyway. And also, I did not just say raids are only completable by good players. What the fuck you talk? PH Phantom, what you talking about, son? What the fuck kind of misrepresentation was that? Fucking clown.
It's true.
No.
It's true. Only
I
good
said
players.
what I said was if you play your class right, you get good results. I did not say that you can only do raids if you're good. In fact, I mean, you can basically do raids if you're complete garbage. The first time we cleared all of Wing 1, we were complete shit at the fucking game, but we still did it anyway because we practiced and learned the mechanics. It turns out...
First Matthias with a pistol thief.
Pistol thief, yeah. World's first Matthias with pistol thief. And like 2 dead people. Yeah. It's just, that's just how it works, you know?
It's fun to figure things out together and to like learn and get better and improve. It's not fun to play with people who still to this day are in the process of figuring things out and they don't care and they force themselves to stay in that role forever.
The thing about that is the most annoying thing is if they don't say anything about it.
Correct.
If they lie and they say
No,
like,
you're actually wrong about that. The most
Really?
annoying thing about it is when they're convinced that everyone else is the problem,
Oh,
so they
yeah,
let
yeah.
other people know that
That's
it's not
tradition.
them and that they're the problem.
I used to raid a lot in Rift and I was raid leader. It was just like, the raid is open to anyone. Just know that you need this, and it would be like a list. You need to have this if you're, playing cleric. You need to have this if you're playing warrior, whatever. You need to have this build because it's most optimal for you, especially if you're learning something. You're gonna learn something new. You want to know the rotations, the build, and this is like everything laid out clearly for you. All you have to do is go watch a video and then do it. And if you can't do it first time, you're not going to get shreked in front of everyone because you're just learning, and that's fine. And then you go in the raid, you hover over their character, and you can see that they've got like a white piece of gear, and they're using a tonic which increases their movement speed or something stupid like that, which isn't relevant to anything. And you're just like, really, like, there's no fucking effort. It requires minimal effort, like half an hour to like pull your finger out of your ass and do something. And that's all it takes, and that's what winds me up about raiding. And
PvP
I don't
as
know,
well, right?
Same
thing. If you don't know what to do, then it's annoying.
And it's just like, the thing is, like, I try to write in chat in the least sarcastic way possible, and it's like they're like, yeah, I know how to capture a point. And I'm like, well, why are you still standing on the capture point with someone else? Like, what are you doing? Are you having a dance party?
I know what you need. I know. Do you know what? This would improve PvP for me, at least. Built-in voice comms. No, built-in voice comms. It's such a horrible idea, but it would be amazing. I would love to see just the community demolish itself if you
I would get banned immediately.
I would just mute it, so it doesn't matter to me.
You ever see me playing Guild Wars 2 on my stream?
Yeah, I know. That was basically what I was, to a certain extent, that is what I was alluding to. I think it will be amazing. I would love to hear Jebro, the face of Guild Wars 2 esports, to just, everyone hears that. Everyone hears
that's
the...
Elsif. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that credit. He's bald though, so we'll give him that. Oh god, did you guys even know? I'm shoutcasting with Elsif.
Yeah, for Tournament of Legends.
No, sorry. Hellsurf is shoutcasting with me. That's just
why?
Yeah.
For
Because
Tournament of Legends.
Yeah.
Isn't Helseth playing?
Did I tell you that I didn't know that Helseth and Rom were different people until like the
you've
world?
told me-
They're way
Yeah.
different people.
I
Anyway,
didn't think they were different. I thought they were the same person.
Everyone else knew.
Can you imagine?
They're
Well, so
very
why
different.
isn't Helseth playing in the tournament?
Not many like of the pro teams are playing.
Because
as
it's pointless. Because it's pointless.
Because they don't get anything compared to the money.
They-
It's a legendary.
They
can buy
don't get
legendary.
anything, and it renders.
Well, wait, do they not need to play?
No,
No, the more pro teams you have in it, the less actual places there are. If you have these teams in that are just so much better than the other teams, because very few teams are actually competitive. You just say, well, there is no first place anymore. You might as well just remove the prize and move it to second, because it's worthless if you set it up like that.
Okay, so
there's going to be different team compositions and people.
So
and there's going
basically,
to be something
Helseth's
random
team, a number of pro teams get a free pass.
No, a number of.
No, they could
they're-
enter if they
as in
wanted
they're
to.
not
They could
playing.
enter if they wanted to. I don't see why
They
they
don't
don't.
need
Yeah.
to because they're still going to be in the pro league.
This is a separate.
No.
Tournament
Tournament
Legends is a
Legends
separate
is
thing.
totally
It's a totally
different. It's
separate thing. Yeah.
Nothing to do
I
with
guess. See, this is part of the problem. I have no idea what the difference is.
Yeah, there we
promotion.
go.
What?
And that's one of. But a lot of people don't even know. That's the problem.
I have no
Like,
idea what the difference is.
if you wanted to look up what Tournament of Legends 4 is, and this is not, it's not run by ArenaNet. It's not an ArenaNet run tournament. This is an Academy gaming tournament, which
Okay,
ArenaNet
so it's a one-off.
supports.
Okay.
And
that's
it's been,
why nobody cares.
This is the fourth one as well. So you win a legendary, and then as you go down the list, it gets, you get stuff towards a legendary. You get like mini llamas and stuff. I entered one year for a laugh. It's kind of fun. And it's a good tournament. And actually and this is a bit of a plug because I want to see more people in the tournament as well, is if you have not got a team, you can go to the signups, I think, at the moment, or it's a forum thread or it's a thread on Reddit where you can sign up as an individual player and you can join other players to get into a team. I need to find the link.
I would never do that because, I mean, clearly I'm not very well. Okay, so a couple reasons, and I wonder how many people fall into this category. Probably a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very good at PvP. So I would need to get with a team and practice for.
There are many people in that boat.
Clearly.
Wait.
I would need to get in. I would want to be part of a structured team so that I could practice with that team for a couple of weeks before the tournament, rather than I'm going to randomly sign up and I'll get a bunch of other jokers who are just as bad as me and we can lose first round and waste our time.
But everyone's a
what
joker.
I mean?
And all you have to do
Right,
is
but-
win once. If you win once, you get a prize. You get a mini llama.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's right. And many
Those
people don't
used
have
to
that.
mean something until people figured out they could go to conventions and sell the codes on eBay.
I think there's.
Well, you can get mini llama pretty easy for shard. Is it the shards or something? I can't remember.
I got one by accident.
The tokens? Yeah.
Did I tell you guys about
Yeah.
the time I got one on accident?
How did you get one on accident?
I retweeted a Guild Wars 2 tweet, and
Yeah,
the
that's
D&T Twitter, when it still existed, was a bot, basically, and it was set up to auto-tweet all of the members that had Twitters. So the D&T Twitter auto-retweeted me, and the D&T Twitter won a llama for the auto-retweet, and then the guy gave it to me. It was great.
Value.
I know, and then I won MightyTeapot's llama with that comment.
That's true. That was a great comment.
And
actually.
then, yeah, I got like 3 llamas just like within the span of like a month.
Mass
It
llamas.
was great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a shame when you have a very small pro league community, pro player community, tournament community. We'll call it that. You have a very small tournament community already with Guild Wars 2, and then you have tournaments that come up where the teams who are part of that community don't even want to play because
Well, no. It's
the
not.
prize is kind of pointless.
No, I don't. No. I actually disagree with that. I actually kind of think that they probably shouldn't play because right now Vermilion have entered the Tournament of Legends, right? It is incredibly unlikely that a non-pro league team is capable of beating them, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So that is not a good thing because now people who enter
but
this
it's not-
tournament will now see, oh, well, I guess I can't win. right?
Yep.
Because it is incredible. I'm sure there's some great players out there, right? But they're not on the same level as these pro league teams. So
Yep.
to a certain extent, you can't just have the highest of the high and then nothing. There has to be some kind of middle ground where you say, you know what? We don't want the civilized denial just stomping everyone in this tournament so they get their free legendaries. We don't want, Vermilion just slash dancing on points for 5 minutes 3 times in a row or something. So there has to be some kind of middle ground where there is a space for teams that are maybe kind of just starting their journey to become true esports.
Right, but they're not signing up. It doesn't exist.
Well, there are some of them. There's like 20. So I mean that's not that
I don't
bad.
know. It seems pretty
Right?
bad.
The thing is like you guys were alluding to, or that's obvious to everyone else as well, is that the community is quite small. It's not a massive amount of people that play. Like, people play PvP more up until the end of probably the last ranked season than has ever really played. And I think they've mentioned that in the forums a couple of times. I know that for a fact. But like someone asked the question, which they probably missed out on earlier. Then why is there no weekly PvP tournaments? PvP tournaments have been running weekly since they started, which was like 3 years ago. People just don't sign up. There's advertising. I tried to promote the weekly ESL 5v5 for a long time after people basically stopped signing up. People just weren't interested. They didn't want to enter.
Well, does it get streamed? Do people see?
Well, yes, it was streamed for years. I've got most of the pods.
But I don't see them anymore though, really. Or am I just on at the wrong time?
Disconnect.
Am I just not paying attention, or what?
People don't sign up.
There's a disconnect as well because that's run outside of the game, right? So you need to go outside of the game to sign up. You need to know where to go, and so let's say you're newer to Guild Wars 2, or heck, maybe you just started PvPing or whatever. Mm-hmm. How would you know about those tournaments unless you were plugged into that community already?
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like
it's not advertised in game anywhere, right? Except for the World Tournament is advertised, obviously, right?
I mean, Pro League was, and they started to try and move towards that. Tournament of Legends, I don't want to say sign-ups were, but with the stream was. So to get people to watch it, it was good. But to get people to, but that even pissed people off because something was on their screen. And yeah, participating in it is, I don't know, very difficult because people get very intimidated by like Matt said, the Vermilion, entered. They have a look at the sign-ups and they go, okay, I don't know that team, don't know that team, don't know that team. And this isn't the case, by the way, for just Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Many PvP games, like for any PvP game, I would say as well.
Perfect example of this is, well, actually not so much because people still sign up for StarCraft tournaments, 1v1 obviously, and even though pro players regularly sign up for them on a weekly basis, right? Because there's cash, get that filthy money. People still sign up for them, even though they know if they get matched up against them, they're just fucked, right? There is almost no way they can win, but they still do it. So actually, I think it's kind of confusing. Actually, they still get a good number of players, like a lot of players, like 200 players or more sometimes. Actually, that's unusual. But yeah,
and if you want to have those low-level tournaments or those lower-level tournaments, mid-level, whatever, then like Nike was saying, you award pro points and then you disqualify pro point players.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way to do it. And then you take away the only consistency there really is in the game, and then they get put off, and then they don't play, and there's no scene. So it's like, you cannot win in that situation. It's very difficult. And the only thing that can really come out of it is like in-game stuff. Do you remember on launch when we had the in-game tournaments for PvP? Do you guys ever remember?
Oh, yeah. In-game, yeah.
yeah. When you could get the ticket, you could win gems.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember. There was tournament queue and stuff.
And why did they stop? And why did they stop that system?
I cannot remember. I don't think I was a part of like the ASP back then. I can't remember why. Not that I would be able to say, but it moved to. I don't think it moved to anything for a fair while. Actually, I think it was just ESLs, and you could just queue for PvP. I can't remember.
It's a bit of a shame because I think that the community needs to grow more. There needs to be more people interested in playing in tournaments in order to run more tournaments to have more prizes to grow that scene. But it's in a very difficult, stale place, and it doesn't help. Like Jebro was saying way earlier in the stream, it doesn't help when there's an off season. Like nobody's playing, right? Like not really. So,
even when it puts up like top tier players streaming it and playing it, and like people like me from talking about it, making videos or content, like, you know, I mean, I made a video on NG Scrapper patch changes. Like, other than that, there's not really much else content-wise you can create around it. And tournaments just, you know, there's not the people there that want to enter. People just don't want to enter stuff. I mean, Tournament of Legends, where you can win a legendary, has got 20 teams. Like, what's the chance of, you know, a weekly competition? Like, I tried for a long time to try and get that back up and running, and maybe I could try again now. And I am going to, when I get to America, I'm going to start the ESL stuff back up. But, you know, I think even to a degree, some of the ESL admins gave up as well, trying to promote it, trying to change the rules.
Yeah, that corrupt ESL admin from Reddit. That's why.
That guy said... That was just such bullshit, that whole situation. I think it was just a guy who had just made a mistake, you know, and just wasn't really, I don't know, thinking at the time. But it's like the one time in 4 years where something like that fucked up. It was not like a major...
all it takes.
It's true, though, because you still remember it, and I do, and loads of people do as well. So it's difficult, you know. I mean, it's sad, but... people still watch it, you know. People watched Worlds. Worlds was pretty good viewers, I think. I don't know. I don't know what it was because I was there, so I didn't ask about it. It was like maybe it was 6-7K.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was like 6, 7, 8K peak, I think.
Okay, so that's not too bad. But like when people, the thing that pisses me off is when people compare Guild Wars 2 to things like League of Legends or CS:GO.
And it's
like,
compare it to 5 players. 5 players.
Overwatch.
It's the same thing. Same thing. 5 players, right? Come on. Guild Wars 2, 5 players. League of Legends, 5
CS:GO is a terrible game. I don't know why people like it.
Because they like shooting each other.
I'd rather play World versus World with a full VR setup, upside down, like bolted to the ceiling, than play CS:GO.
And I would watch you stream that. Set it up. Let's do it. Oh man.
Well, it is a very foolish comparison. It's a foolish comparison to make just because Guild Wars 2 is an MMO, right? Even look at WoW. Even WoW doesn't do brilliantly when it does its competitive PvP stuff with the arenas, right? It gets a good chunk of viewers, don't get me wrong.
It's got once a year, man, mainly, right? I mean, it's like...
They also have millions of more players who actually play the game.
Yeah, and the thing is, WoW has a lot more players than... Well, I guess not that many more players, you know, not insane.
Not that many more?
A lot more, right?
2 guys, Astral Authority, funnily enough, got, I think, like with 2 of the best duo queuers in PvP in WoW now in the last couple of months. God, is it Nos? No, it's Magic Token.
It's Fantaram and somebody.
It's Magic Token as well. Yeah,
they're bored of standing on points. They just want to kill people.
Exactly.
There you go.
And you know, I mean, I genuinely think that the guys who play Guild Wars 2 PvP, like to that pro level, or that we're going to call it pro, which it is. They are ridiculously good at the game. They are the theory craft they come up with and everything else. You know, they're at the top tier of kind of the guys who would, I guess, theory craft PvE and raiding and stuff, but in a different way. You know, because you're thinking more about positioning, the jump puzzles. They're thinking about every single situation they possibly can, because at the end of the day, that knowledge is going to be the difference between them taking home $20,000 and taking home $5,000, you know, for the entire team. And that's where the difference is. So those guys are fucking way up there. So they've got that time investment, whereas the next level down, they have nothing. There is absolute sweet FA for them to have the determination to get better, like those top tier pro guys. And I don't know what you do about that. It's difficult.
This is a thing there, right? Wasn't Okay, so in the weekly tournaments, right? You could win a lot of gems, like 2K gems, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
didn't it just get stomped mercilessly by Pro League teams every single time? So it all comes back to this problem, right? Or not?
No.
No?
The reason that they stopped, one of the reasons that a lot of people stopped entering is because basically they said, well, basically three or four teams or so entered every week for a while. And then it was like, okay, that means they're definitely giving gems out. They stopped giving gems out if there weren't more than
Enough
8 teams.
Yeah.
So then the teams that entered, that made the effort to get their asses in gear, sign up, get an ESO account, sign up as well, played for nothing. Like they played for zero. And
Yeah, and
unfortunately, people don't want to play to get better. They want to play to win something. And in my own personal opinion, that is the wrong fucking attitude to have in the first place. And if you're the kind of person that has that attitude, then that's your thing, and that's exactly how you can stay. But if you want to get better at something, you have to admit the fact that you're going to have to fucking work for it, and you're going to have to work your way up, and you're going to have to learn and take shit, and you're just going to have to not get money or get something beneficial out of it, because you cannot go from zero to hero in fucking 2 seconds. You know, it's like you have to work at something, and I think that is the major fucking problems of not just like fucking people that want to get better at games, but of a lot of fucking people in the world. And that's just a gripe I have at the world, so sorry about that. But that's the way it works, guys. You fucking work hard, you get rewarded for it. That is life. That is the way life should be. And get fucked if you think anything else, really.
I'm just gonna win the Ecto lottery, because I hear that's how you get rich in Guild Wars too.
Other than, if you bet on things, and then you can obviously earn yourself a lot of money that way. But
here's a good point.
But like, people have to have patience with something. It's like with raiding, and you guys have got to be extremely patient yourselves, especially if you know someone's coming new into the raid. But there is an expectation that you will put the fucking effort into to get better. And if you don't, and it's almost quite a similar thing. You will not get rewarded if you don't improve, because people just won't want to play with you. They won't want to have you included in their community, and you will just lose out. So just fucking get good.
But the thing is, I do think a reward is the carrot that gets the bull. It gets the donkey moving. You know what I'm saying? It can convince people to go, hey, maybe actually competing is pretty good. So but they get the sweet taste of gems as well, and that encourages them to actually go on to compete further.
And gems weren't even that 2K gems per player. It's not that much, really, at the end of the day. And
God damn, if I could get that every week, that would be pretty good, man.
Man.
Let's fucking go.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I need 2,000 gems every week.
Yeah,
let's make it happen.
And that is important. And I feel like people should be rewarded for stuff. But at the same time, that was a big excuse for reason why people would not enter. And if they had entered, they would have been seen by other players. They would have been had a chance to enter things like the Pro League if they'd been consistent and they'd actually pulled their finger out and actually done something about it. But instead, they just went by the wayside. I know so many good players that could have been in the Pro League. Some teams which were better than the teams that were playing in Pro League. But because there were no rewards and things like weeklies and stuff, they broke apart and they just didn't continue. And if they had, they could have won. They could have done what Denial did,
Mm.
That's $100,000 fucking dollars.
Some good money, yo.
Cheap.
You can get a lot of gems with that.
Yeah. With us, someone can work it out. But they have been consistent and they have put the effort in, and they deserved it. A lot. All of the players there deserved it. There was even talk about the fact that a team like Never Lucky didn't deserve to be there and shouldn't have got there. They were consistent. They played. They're good fucking guys as well. I can tell you that for nothing. And everyone that is there, like the PvP, the pro PvP community, all of those guys and just normal people, they're all awesome. And we've got a good pro scene, but there's nothing below that. There is just nothing. And It's a mid tier. It's an academy gaming tier, and Academy Gaming, without them specifically, I don't think we'd even have that level existing in the game. So I think they're actually really good.
We've got Mystic Builds, Jebro. That's what we got.
And Mystic Builds. I
Hell
really
yeah.
like Mystic Builds. I think it's fantastic. I remember when I entered it, it was a long time ago now. But I went to the website and it was really exciting. It was like, oh, all this fancy stuff on the screen, you know, I click and I get my build. I was actually really hyped about that. I fucking sucked because my build was awful and I was just playing on a laptop in, I think, a uni or something. But I had fun and that was the point. And like, if you have not seen it, like, I will plug your shit for you right now.
Oh,
like, you should go.
What an excellent tea time guest, guys! What an excellent tea time guest.
It's fun, and I do watch it because it's fun to watch. You know, I stick it. I think I'm at work at the time, but
What is the prize for winning Mystic Builds every week?
Fuck all. But
there you go.
But
there's people every week playing.
But no, because they do it for fun. They find it fun to do.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, they're you know, I am giving away gold. Actually, I really should be able to get gems very soon. Actually, because I actually probably will be able to. I've talked with people, and actually, I was actually approached by getting gems, guys. So, you know, well, I have gems every week, maybe. You know, that would be pretty good, huh? You know,
There you go.
it'd be pretty nice. I don't know how many it will be, but there should be for the next...
Two gems.
Next 2 gems.
Tournament.
2 gems.
They'll give you enough for a tournament, for sure.
Host a
If you
show on
ask
NA? On NA? NA in 2K16? I mean, did you not see...
Just go make a
Pro
free
League, dude?
account. Use Teapot's link below.
Yeah. Just use the free...
And
Yeah. Thanks,
Mystic
Ings.
Build away.
Exactly. I mean, all you have to do is play with a little bit of ping, but it's probably alright, you know?
Probably fine.
Yeah. That's actually true, though. Ings is actually right. You can just go play on EU. EU
There you
account.
go. Do it.
And you know, you
Free
can
account.
support your favorite content creator while you do it. That's good. It's nice.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. Now you've been reminded. You know, just get some more accounts, guys. That's all you need. You need more accounts. Yeah, Brobo did win Mystic Builds once. He did win Mystic Builds, so it proves that anyone can rise to greatness. You know, and that the Brobo has done so.
What was it? What class was it?
He won the finals, so he won gems actually. So there you go.
Ah.
He won the grand final by headbutting his way to victory. Even though he was base warrior, he won with base warrior. It was
Really?
pretty good. Yeah. If base warrior was actually really good 1v1 though, because he was just unkillable.
Warrior's just good one. Warrior's just good now, isn't it? Remember the days where Warrior was just not good in PvP?
Yeah.
That was a long time.
It's
No, it wasn't.
always been one or the other. It's always just you're good or you're bad on Warrior.
You mean like Necromancer, right, in PvE, Brazil?
There are just better games out there for PvP. Well, then go play them. It's just
Yeah,
that
I mean,
people
there
will
are.
play. People will play whatever game that they enjoy playing, and if there's prizes, they'll get good at it and compete.
It's interesting how that works, huh?
Yeah, funny how that works.
Weird.
Well, I mean, if you don't like the game, go play another one. There's a whole bunch of them.
I mean, I think they probably don't play PvP, but I think like this is the thing with Guild Wars 2, and is a problem, and also is a, I don't know if it's a curse or a problem or whatever, is they have to focus on free independent game modes that don't have any crossover other than, you know, I guess PvE crosses over to World v World to a degree. Well, it does, obviously, for your build and not for your build, for your stats and everything. Because your build is still significant to each game mode. You go into that mode, you've got your build for that game mode, you switch, and you've got a completely different build. And you have to balance a game around 3 separate modes for 3 completely different sets of situations, let alone the situations that, like the micro that kind of that happens in the actual game mode itself, like a team fight in PvP, a specific boss fight, or you as a blob in World v World. You have to then balance for those kind of things as well. So they have to balance their I feel sorry for their fucking balance team to get that right ever. Like, no one ever balances PvP correctly, even if it's just a PvP game, let alone fucking 3 game modes with all this like smaller stuff going on. So like, I actually think that sometimes, like, and I disagree and agree with a lot of the balance in Guild Wars 2 as well, but I think like they actually do an okay job with what the amount of shit they have to deal with. Like, I really do. And I think people do forget about that sometimes, how much they have to balance. But and now they're changing it to the point where they're balancing abilities just for PvP and World v World. They're separating PvE, and I think they're going to do that more. I think as soon as they do, they're going to make their own lives a lot more easy. Sorry, a lot easier. But I don't know.
Yeah,
they don't know what they are doing.
I actually do think the game is in a reasonable state right now. Brazil will disagree with me, but I do think the balance is actually in a reasonable spot right now.
No, I think you're right.
For what though? For everything? Or?
No.
I would probably say everything. Yeah, at least in PvE. I think PvP. I don't know. When I was playing PvP, I mean, obviously I wasn't playing like high level or whatever, but I didn't find any real balance issues. I mean, there's stuff that's annoying, right? There is stuff that's annoying, but annoying does not mean imbalanced, right? You know, I fuck druids. Okay, I'm just gonna say in PvP. But it's annoying, but it's not unbeatable,
easier
right?
Now.
Yeah, easier now, exactly. You know, they got less of that avatar juice, and stuff like you know, Cancer Hunter, Dragon Hunter. It's annoying, but actually, it's not even that good.
See, this is something I learned this playing Thief, and it's really good information. So, if you're playing a Thief and there's a Dragon Hunter on a point, and you see him just lay down traps, it is incorrect to go fight the Dragon Hunter on the point and take the 1v1 because you're going to lose.
You don't 1v1 as a thief ever. You just never 1v1.
But
unless
I mean,
you're literally better than anyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
but what's wrong with that, though?
What?
Like,
What's
no,
wrong with
no,
not being able to 1v1?
Here's the thing.
It's nothing.
People see someone and they think, I fight this. That's what goes on in their head. Wrong. You think about it. You think, this player has been 1v3ing my team and beating them. It's probably not smart to fight him 1v1. And so you just leave the point, you go +1 somewhere else, or you go do something somewhere else. You let him just have the cap there, and then when he runs off of it, and after you've helped another fight, then you can go back and take it, and he has to run and catch up and recap, and then you can leave. Like, I don't know. People just like, there's some sort of like primal instinct that just takes over in PvP, and they don't think about like what the correct thing to do is.
Well, that's why they say what they say in chat about like DH as being overpowered and ridiculously good. And it's like, how many Guardians played in the last World Championship Series?
Like one.
And how did that work out?
And the problem, the thing is that DH is not. Well, they could change now. There's rumblings, but it's NA. They always play the most random shit. They just do. It's awesome to watch, but it hardly ever works out. Other than if you're the abjured. And wow, point went completely out of my head. DH, and it's like what Brazil said. You know, it's obvious shit. You know, and like a thief, if you're new to PvP or if you've been playing PvP for a long time and you don't know this, especially recently, thieves don't really 1v1 because they'll lose most of the fights that they're in. They have like hardly any sustain. The condition removal is pretty shit. They as soon as they enter a team fight, they're gonna get annihilated. So their job, decaps plus wanting, and bringing in the burst maybe in a team fight if someone is low, so they can nip back out and they can port back out, and you good. You know, it's not, obviously I'm not giving you detailed gameplay specific instructions because I don't play Thief that well, but I know it in terms of casting. That is its role. Each character in hero and build has a role that they must fulfill. And when Necro and Scrapper came in, you know, the Scrapper looked after the Necro. That was one of his main jobs, make sure he was rezzing him. And you saw that in, you know, more specifically the the qualifiers for Worlds, actually, where, you know, you had ridiculous competitions where that would be, you know, people would bounce up and down, and then, you know, there's counters that come in and people counterplay that with some, which is what someone says, you know, and they balance it out with a build that's going to be able to do something different, you know, like an Elementalist on Denial that would keep the Necro up to a point where he was even more powerful because he wouldn't even go down, so we didn't even have a scrapper to bring that guy back up to then bring out his damage. Like, the obvious thing came out. Okay, why don't we just heal him and, you know, buff him up so that he doesn't even die to the point where he's so, you know, he's obliterating everything. And that's one of the things and one of the points I wanted to make, you know, that's good about the game and people and PvP as well, because people are always thinking about like countering and buffing and stuff. I'm not sure what my point was or what we were actually talking about before.
No, it was about...
But you have to think around it, which is the point I think you were making. Don't make those obvious mistakes and decisions. Like, DH is fucking easy to counter. You just wait, just don't step in his traps. Let him move to another point. When he's gone over there, he's not got his cooldowns. He's fucked without them. You know, wait until his blocks are not up on his focus. Make sure he's not got some of his virtues. If he's not got his second virtue up, he's got a bit of Condi removed. But that's the time when you flipping use your Condi burst, you know. Use your brain and think about
engage
what you do.
brain.
You know, you've just got a longbow from afar and you're a scrapper and you've got a hammer. Use your second ability and just nail those arrows back into his face like a Power Ranger. You know, he'll kill himself. You know, all you had to do is press hammer too. You've got a block as well. You know, there's so many different things you can do. Even if you put retaliation on yourself as a very minimal thing, you know, all these different things where you can really mitigate damage which affects you. Don't run the most ridiculous like rune. You know, if you're going for a rune, which is going to give you shitloads of damage, and you're going for an amulet, which has got no toughness or no HP, don't expect to live for very long, boys and girls. You know, you haven't even got a sigil of leeching, for fuck's sake. You know, it's like, what do you expect? And these are the kinds of people that fucking make stupid-ass comments about things being powered because they don't make any effort to fucking counter that.
This is why, if you don't like Dragon Hunters, you run Base Guardian, shout spamming, Aegis spammer, Guardian. Seriously, this is originated from Stronghold. This shit is actually broken if you have more than one or two targets you can put Aegis down. So what happens is, obviously the obvious choice in Stronghold, right, is you take a Dragon Hunter because you can kill the little guys, little door breakers. So what we came up with is Base Guardian, and you spam Aegis and Retaliation and everything. And this happened a whole bunch of times on stream. We put Retaliation and Aegis down on the door breakers, okay, and they have stability and you can heal them because the Aegis heals them, the Aegis detonates, the Aegis turns into Retaliation. A Guardian puts down his traps and instantly dies. Because he hits 5 targets and he blows up immediately. It's beautiful. Oh, wonderful.
There's ways, and whatever you say, and lovable links. You are wrong.
Links.
It's competitive because it has been competitive. It's been in the ESL. It's had a massive cash prize. It's
pretty much every game is competitive to a certain extent.
Yeah, exactly. That's a weird thing to say, but anyway, and that's not personal bash at you. You're just wrong. Well, whose line did I take? Was it one of yours?
Demolished.
But I think I've made my point. Basically, it's like with anything. You have to put the work and the effort in. Learn your class. Learn what your abilities actually do. Okay, if I press 2 as a hammer, okay, it does a ton of damage, but it also reflects projectiles. Like, maybe I'll save that for the spamming Power Ranger that's pulling his longbow out and wrecking me from afar, because I can defeat him in a 1v1 if I just use that ability at the right time. You don't even need to use it before he starts using it, because it's a fucking, he's casting it. You can use it halfway through his cast and he's going to wreck himself. And people who are saying, like, I don't want to play Flavor of the Month, in any PvP game, you have a meta. The meta
is a lie. And
not even PvP. I knew you were going to say that. It's not just PvP, it's raiding as well. And they will tell you that to be the most optimal, to be the best, to be what you need to be completely effective, is to play the best fucking builds. And you don't like it, that's fine. But if you don't like it and you want to play something else, prepare to not be the best. prepare to not be as effective as you would like to be at that time. Unless you're the people who are creating the meta, which is obviously
right.
also.
Let's say the meta is 3 warriors, a guardian, and a mesmer, and you propose that elementalists might do more damage. And then you go and you research and you record and you work stuff out and you provide proof and evidence that maybe you have a point.
Then you're the creator of the meta.
And then the community ignores you for like a year until somebody else comes up with it.
Well, like that's quite. I mean, that's a creation like of the meta. The meta changes. You need people like that to create it. That's the only time that it's going to change, unless you're one of those people that's going to create it,
discover it.
Discover it, yeah. Well, you're kind of creating it as well, I guess. But like, discover is probably a better word. Actually.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's sort of true. I mean, QT did kill Revenant. QT killed Harold, so there's that. Thanks.
You're gonna trigger them by saying
that.
You're gonna trigger them by saying that, by the way. Some in chat, they're gonna be triggered now.
Somebody will watch it and believe it, and then we can spread it. Spread the meme.
But it's not QT's fault if people don't understand what they're actually saying. That's the issue here. But that's another issue entirely. Let's be real. That's a very different thing.
I really like PvP now, but I don't like playing it because I get so mad in unranked. It's just infuriating.
Don't get mad in unranked. Unranked's not worth your anger.
No, it is, because whenever I only need 5 wins left for my Capricorn achievements, and it takes 40 games to get them.
Those achievements shouldn't be in unranked.
The best is when you play for a couple of hours and you're like, oh man, I only need 2 wins. I'm almost done, guys. Hey, thanks for choosing the map. Can we all try and play our best? And the other team says, I will give you all 10 gold to just throw the game so Inks can't win. And they literally do that.
Is that actually good?
That is so good, dude. Oh, that shit's good.
All right, so here's the thing. Here's the thing.
It was pretty funny.
Grouch. My man.
My boy.
Just take the new map and the achievements and just put them in their own queue.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why not? Why not? It's a beta map that you want the reason that you put achievements and a title and stuff on it, you want players to play it so that they can give you feedback so that you can fine-tune the map. Put it in its own queue. Why not? I mean, the problem is 4 weeks after it's been out, then the queue times are going to take a long time. But
people eventually will just stop wanting to play it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, right? But at the same time, you're going to go into unranked queue anyway, and you're going to have players choosing other maps, so you're not going to get your map regardless.
The thing is what Matt said earlier, and kind of what I said is, if you split the queue again, like, even though it would be awesome, you'd get less queues and other things, and then people would stop playing because they'd be like, oh, it's 10 minutes until I got like a solo ranked queue or whatever. And that's the problem. The community is already small enough that if you put another queue in, then I think they should just be permanent. They shouldn't put time limits on. But like you said, the reason they've done that, and it makes the most sense, is because of feedback. Because they want people to jump in, spam the map, and give as much feedback as they can. But the problem is, and I'm not sure if they think this or whatever, like it's not going to matter, because like feedback is feedback. People who put feedback onto the forums will put it on for the forums. They're not going to do it.
Not only that, but some of the achievements they've designed there are counterintuitive to what kind of feedback they're trying to get. Yeah, so if you put that you need 25 wins, eventually you finish the other achievements fairly quickly, and then, like Brazil was saying, you're just playing and playing and playing to get wins and for no other reason. So there becomes a particular time where you're no longer interested in trying to give feedback or trying to critique the match. You're just there to grind it out, and that's not really fun for anybody, I don't think. If I say everybody, then someone's going to say, no, Inks. I like to grind out PvP achievements. It's the most fun I've ever had in Guild Wars 2.
And then go to a high school dance if you want to grind.
Playing playing PvP for achievements, that game never gonna get competitive. Just face it. Why? What does that comment even mean?
Triggered.
That's just a fucking
No,
dumbass comment. Man.
No, it's not what it means. It's not what it means. So what they're saying is, I'm going to be charitable here and try and interpret in the way that I think is actually kind of correct, right? Having it such that just grinding wins allows you to progress does not foster a competitive environment. Same as the PvP back piece, right? It's not competitive.
Right.
But
that's not the aim of it though. That was never the aim of it.
No. Exactly. But that's kind of what they're trying to say, I think.
It's just like when World vs. World had seasons, you had people jump in for the first couple of weeks or whatever just to get all the achievements they could get, and that made a number of regular World vs. World players unhappy because you have a bunch of people who they're not willing to listen, they don't want to group up, they don't want to do anything. They're just there for achievements and then they're out, and that it's annoying when that is your game mode that you play most frequently. And you have a bunch of people coming in to sort of just clown their way through it and mess your good time up.
But that doesn't go in ranked, Q. That's unlike. I mean, you can't get those.
It's an unranked, which makes it even worse because people who are playing unranked, a lot of them and they're in the right place. They're there to play and experiment with builds and do whatever, right?
The people who are doing are literally almost the people who are doing daily achievements. Like that
do they have their own servers?
The hot join servers. Red always wins, right? Yeah. I'm saying all you need is wins. You think, I'm not going to win this game. I give up. Better luck next time. That's in every game. In League of Legends, you can surrender. In Dota, you can forfeit. In StarCraft 2, you type GG and leave. That doesn't mean doesn't make the games less competitive. That's just not a correct statement.
Hell, I wish we had a GG for PvP so I could end it soon or something.
If we're in a game, and my team has a 3 cap and we're on 350 points to 30 and we're rushing for the Lord on foe fire, I don't think the other team should really even bother to try and stop us, because what will be the point in that?
Nope.
They'd be prolonging their own suffering. So, I don't know. It doesn't make any difference.
All that being said, I think that some people are going to take issue with this, but I do think that there's still a lot of work to do, but I think that the PvP in Guild Wars 2 over the last 2 years has gotten dramatically better. The systems and everything that they've been putting into place, I do think it's gotten a lot better in the last 2 years. Still work to do, don't get me wrong, but way better place than it was in before.
I think it's like almost until I think the next expansion is going to be difficult unless something else comes along before it. It's not going to grow a lot more. When the expansion comes out, everyone's going to come back and they're going to try it. If there's new elite specs or whatever, or weapons or whatever, they'll come back for all that kind of stuff, and then it'll fizzle back down. But I think there's maybe it's game wide as well, and we're just talking our own minds as our own people. We might be sponsored by ArenaNet or an influencer program or whatever.
By Guild Wars
we
2,
have
please.
no. There is a link below this channel for a couple of things.
Yep. Go, please.
And but still, we're allowed to talk our minds, and we're not bashing the game. We're just being critical about in what we're talking about.
That's something I should probably clarify. So a lot of the time, I'm just a raging storm of hatred, and I don't actually hate Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 is probably the greatest game I've ever played, and I've spent more time playing Guild Wars 2 than I have any other game. Probably every other game combined that I've ever played.
Yep.
And it's a good game, and I love it, and I want to keep playing it, and I want to enjoy it. And sometimes dumb things happen that make me very, very mad. And I'm a person that's just prone to getting mad. I get mad at everything.
Really? Never noticed that.
Yeah, I know. What a surprise.
It's a surprise to me.
But I don't know.
It's like
So-
you can compare Guild Wars 2 to like your family or your long-term
That's
wife.
way
or
better than that.
well, yeah, and not even that. Some people. But you love them and you hate them. You argue with them. You think they're doing stupid things. You think they make mistakes, and you forgive them, and you keep going. And that's a good way of looking at it, because at the end of the day, you're still there. You're still in this thing that you want to be in, because to a degree, you haven't got a choice. But also, because you love it and you want to spend your time doing it. And I think we wouldn't be this critical. We wouldn't be sitting here. Invited by Matt to do this in the first place, unless we actually liked the game to a point where we actually gave a shit about giving up 2 or 3 hours of our night to talk about it in the first place. So if anyone thinks we're bashing the game or giving the game a bad name, then you can eat shit, basically.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Someone brought up my figures.
That is. Wait, what is this? What
My
did you
figures.
post? Wow, look at that. If you could make your character look like a dark magician girl, would you do
Yes.
so? Would
That's
you
not
buy?
even-
Would you buy that
Not even a
outfit?
question.
Would you buy
Yes.
that outfit?
Immediately.
Wow, that full one, man. That's sick.
Yeah, those. Do you know what those are from?
Is it
remember the
K-pop ones?
The Bethesda E3 press conference
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
where they released those figures at the end of the show. That was the first set that showed up on eBay about 5 minutes after the show ended.
Yeah. But that was
Yeah.
expensive.
I got it I paid $100 for that set, and everyone else paid like $300 to $500.
Oh wait, set. What was it like?
It was the
Three of them.
Dishonored 2, the Power Armor, and then the Doom thing.
Oh, that's pretty worth it, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
jealous of your Josh Foreman exclusive Zelda figure.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
don't use that irresponsibly, because people have, and I don't like that.
What do you
But-
mean irresponsibly?
Yeah, just don't worry about it. It's fine.
What are you talking about?
But it's good. It's a good figure. I like this.
Okay, right. I got what you meant then. Okay.
And then I have Polly the pig. His son made that. 3D printed it. I bought one.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Well, how about that?
Well-
I think with that rousing speech from our great guest Jebro, I think that is a good place to wrap this bitch up.
I got a bit deep and meaningful.
You sound like
Yeah.
a murderer.
No. We don't murder Guild Wars 2. We need to keep it alive. Okay?
Alright.
Can't just kill it. But yes, Jebro, thank you for coming on. Who are you? What do you do? You do the streaming.
I do the
that not
streaming.
right?
Yes, do the streaming. I am a shoutcaster for Guild Wars 2 PvP. I will be shoutcasting with Hellset this weekend on Sunday for the EU Tournament of Legends. Make sure you go and enter. I put some links in. I'll put them in a bit as well. I also stream. So when you can come follow me. I stream Guild Wars 2 twice a week, but I also stream other games, like shitloads of other games, random games. We just hang out, talk shit. I give stuff away sometimes. Going full time in when I get to NA, when I get to Seattle, I'm going to be streaming.
When you transfer to NA?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I transfer. I have to pay a little bit more than
800
that.
gems is a bit
That
more
would
than
be
right?
that would be a good vlogging series. Jebro transfers to NA.
Yeah,
Just,
that actually would be quite a good video. Actually, that is actually a really good idea for a video.
I know. Just make a vlog. Just cut it up, edit it. It'd be good. I'd watch it.
Yeah, well, not almost American. That'll probably be a couple of years down the line. But yeah, come check out the stream, and also check out this guy's stream, because did you have some good news recently?
Yes, I am Twitch sellout
Come
now.
on, come
Twitch-
on.
I'm Twitch
Come
sellout now.
What does that? What has happened?
Got a little purple
What's
button.
happened?
But we're gonna have the sub button soon, guys.
Yeah,
we're gonna have the sub button soon, guys. That's right.
Type in
Okay.
chat for that.
We made
That is-
it. We made it, boys. We have made it all the way to Twitch elitism. So
I've
soon
been
you can
cooking up some
Yes.
smokes.
yes. So you can now sub. You can get, well, not right now actually, but you will be able to. You'll be able to get the sub icon and shit. And there you go.
Like quite quickly.
Yeah,
Was
you
it
get
Friday? Did you get it on Friday or like last week?
Got the email. The email of acceptance last week. Yeah, was pretty good, huh?
Good,
Yeah, legit sub button. The legit way Teapot be praised. Well, you know, thanks,
If
man.
you
Sounds
if you
like
stream
nice.
Red Alert, I will sub to you.
Okay,
Just-
right.
just
We
fucking-
got a deal. We got a deal. We're doing the Red Alert 2 stream, guys. This
Play
is
all of the Command and Conquer
every
games
Command and
and
Conquer game. I'm gonna 1v1 you, Jebro. Let's go. Let's go.
maybe, but-
I'm gonna destroy you.
Not really. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can play on that
Bam.
that bad res.
You can support my crippling depression and in-game gem addiction by subbing, so that's pretty good. That's exactly what you want to do, you know. It's a good stuff. You can get an icon and some emotes and stuff, and you know that's exactly what I know you guys want. I know you guys love that shit.
It's like a old Kappa.
Yeah, it's good. The emotes are going to be a clown fiesta. You're exactly right. They are going to be a clown fiesta.
Can't wait. Can't wait for the clowns.
Yeah.
Bring out the clowns.
Bring out the clowns, indeed.
Sorry,
see.
I thought I'd mentioned about it because
Yeah.
did.
It's pretty good.
Every time
know?
you subscribe to Mighty Teapot, you get a free raid clear.
That
Feeling soft. Just,
Yeah.
you know, just
yeah,
throw it
we'll
on
hook
in.
you up. You know, we'll hook you up. No problem.
Just whisper that to people.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
I promise. You can have you. I'd give you my word
Oh,
that
look.
Mighty Teapot will carry.
We got some ice
Subscribe to him.
subs. Got some ice subs here. Yeah. Wait, don't invite this Jebro guy again. He keeps bringing up irrelevant content that are not raids. Nice meme. Good meme.
Talk about PvP, so that's not my
Yeah,
fault.
exactly. You know, we wanted to spice it up a bit. We talk about PvE all the time. We gotta get the PvP action, yo. Especially when they actually change stuff. You got fucking esports, okay?
More.
But you know what? We've also got some other people here as well. Look, up in the top right corner, it is MMO Inks. Ooh.
And my cat who won't shut up.
Okay. What do you do? What do you do, Inks?
Mostly I have a YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure everybody here already knows, but it's at MMO Inks. You can follow me on Twitter where I complain incessantly about things that don't matter. And eventually getting back to streaming, I still need to fix my CPU. It's a mess. It's terrible. Showcat, MMO Links. Yeah, he's on the other side of the room, so I can't show him.
Is he a lynx or a tiger?
He's just a bastard. He's just a cat.
Wow.
Wow. Brutal. Absolute brutality.
Get back to streaming. Yes, I plan
Yeah.
to. I plan to. I need
Get back to
to
streaming.
tool time with Inks. Yeah.
Tool time with Inks. Okay. And we have the duck. It is Brazil.
Wrong.
Who is Brazil? Explain to
Hi.
us about that.
My name is Donald Trump, and on November 8th, I'm gonna be your new president.
On November
Small.
8th, I will not be voting for you, Donald. Sorry.
Hey,
Sorry,
yeah.
Donald.
as me?
Not
What?
you, him. Lynx.
Of course, I'm a citizen of the U.S.
You still are.
I fought and bled for
They
that
take it
damn
away.
country.
But guys, we have to realize that if Trump gets elected, it's pretty much one of the greatest memes of all time.
Oh my god.
Is it worth it? We have to consider this.
No, it's not.
It's one of the
I don't actually
dankest,
live there.
the
so it's fine.
dankest memes of all time.
I will be living there, so please don't.
Donald Trump.
That's right, Minty Fresh. I did. For Donald Trump.
Wow.
Ugh.
Oh yeah. Anyways, if you like what I do, if you like my content, you should consider scheduling an appointment with your local psychiatrist.
Jebro.
That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Go hit Jebro up.
He needs patience.
Yes,
so
that's about it
hit
for
him up.
me. He needs more patience, so he stops yelling at people in PvP. Oh, that's the wrong kind of patience, huh?
Ew.
All right,
Is that
that's
it?
it, everybody.
All right, let's go host.
Remember that before the stream started, Teapot said it would be a short stream because there's nothing to talk about, and it was 3 hours long.
That did.
We found things to rant and complain about, like
Yeah.
we do every week.
It was
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
I always think, you know what? Maybe what are we going to talk about for all this whole tea time? Yeah, at the end of the day, we're the best content machines in all of the Guild Wars 2 community. No one can top us on just shit talking stuff.
See,
A long
all
amount
of that,
time, you know?
all of the experience just BSing, writing research papers in high school just paid off.
Pays
Yeah.
off.
'Cause now we do this every Sunday. We just make stuff up as we go along.
Exactly.
Someone said it's because Jebro can. It's probably true because I can talk for a while.
Yeah.
I'm used to talking.
We've
on stream.
insulted the World vs. World community, set people,
Yeah.
PvE community, druids who don't know how to use Tiger. What else was on the list this time?
PvP
It's
players are
all this guy.
lazy.
PvP
Here, I
players,
have-
lazy
lazy.
PvP
All
players.
All of the
Guild
Guild
Wars-
Wars... No, we got the whole Guild Wars 2 community, didn't we? That they're all lazy and they can't be bothered to improve.
Here. I have to give them the Yu-Gi-Oh hookup.
High school dances that are just
Oh,
grind.
this is a new
apparently.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, so wait, it's been nearly the whole stream without Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Futas. Wait, what the fuck is this shit? Injection Fairy... Oh my god, what is this?
You almost made it.
Injection Fairy.
That is a
Lily. That's good.
Okay.
It's explain this single page explains everything about why Brazil loves this game.
Yeah.
Where does that injection go? Next time on MightyTeapot.
We'll
That's a
find
really-
out.
That's a good
Next
card.
time on Undercover Brazil.